Well, hello, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome back to La Coupe de Africana Season 3. We are in the grand finals, and we're about to get things started and chopped up here. Tonight, I will not be having that man named Priest beside me. Instead, I will be having Jesse to get things started. Jesse, first game of the day, how are you feeling?
All good, bro. How you feeling?
I'm all right. I am all good. I need to change some inputs, but speaking of inputs, this team have put in a lot going into the games from yesterday. We did see RECALCITRANTS Elites really dominating as well as Knockout Esports, but then there's still a couple of other teams to still keep an eye out for, like the Mad Monkeys. We saw them draw closer and closer in some of those games, but you did watch those games yesterday. What are your expectations going into today's games?
I'm looking forward to Knockout Esports trying to get that first spot back because coming into the finals, they wanted to be a heavy contender with Recalcitrant Elites, and they lost that first spot just towards the end of yesterday. So I'm eager to see how they will do today.
Definitely, and they will definitely get a chance to try it as well today, given that we have that first map of Rondo where they get the chance to gather themselves some more points, get your chance to come back again, even though you make some silly mistakes. So I really like to keep an eye out for that one. RRAGE yesterday, we saw them get themselves 2 chicken dinner, not really in the fancy fashion that we would really like to see, because I believe almost every game they won a chicken dinner, they had another team that was doing more eliminations than them, which eventually got them more points. And one team that I've been looking at that I've been causing a little bit of confusion for me is the ZEUS brothers here, following each other in 9th place and 10th place as well. Any expectations for those two teams going into today's games, Jesse?
I think this MORIS should be able to pick up form today. Not quite sure what's wrong with them, but I strongly believe they should be able to do better today.
Definitely, they are a strong team that we know about. But then, if we are going to talk about people that we know about, it is the top players. Yesterday, we saw these players actually put up insane numbers, especially Manji, 22 eliminations that he was able to accrue in the space of 5 games. That is not an easy feat. And I know that player there, that Gina player from Knockout, I'm keeping my eye out for him today because that is one of those very promising talents that we do not see very often. But nonetheless, tonight's games is going to be all the way from Rondo. We go into double blocks of Erangel, and then we close things out with double blocks of Miramar. That is an insane setup here, Jesse, isn't it?
Yep, it is. With Rondo, they can get extra eliminations if they play it right. And then they go into Erangel, that is pretty much the default map. Everyone should be able to play Erangel. And then we close it out with Miramar.
Yeah, and I think it just even starts off very high octane. Then we go to that balance there of Erangel, and then we close things out really in those very open fields there of Miramar. And I know how overwhelming Miramar can get, especially when you have to play it back to back. So I would really like to see how these teams play. You know, we want to start looking at teams that would really favor the map of Miramar, because if Miramar is not your strongest map, I think you're going to be in for a lot of trouble going into today's games.
Very true. Miramar was actually the game that Elite used to overtake Knockout Esports. They fell off a bit in Miramar. I'm not quite sure if that's a general thing here, if it was just yesterday. We'll see how they play today. What do you think about these flight paths, Crowns?
Oh, yeah, definitely. How they play today is one thing that I would also keep my eye out on. But I guess one thing that also determines how they play today would be the playing path. And well, when we start to look at bigger maps like this, I kind of look at this Rondo map like Sandhawk. Reason being that it's one of those cases where it is very big. The playing path for me, I just feel like it doesn't even really matter that much, because you can land anywhere. The zone can choose to go anywhere. It's a very big map. There's a lot of areas to play. I think for Rondo, it is down to just how much you can aggress and just how much you can play along the lines.
Yeah, one thing I like about Rondo that I feel makes it a bit better off than Sandhawk is there are far more vehicles. Like there are vehicles almost everywhere in Rondo.
Definitely, but then there's guns as well, and it's going to be the players there from Mad Monkeys to get things started. Going into or coming out of the gauntlet phase, it was something that we spoke about, them being that team who like to take those early fights. And well, what better map to take an early fight but out here in the map here of Rondo? Looking to get things set up. It's a 2v2 at the moment, with Munch and Tony being the first 2 mans in the attack here. They're looking for those little pick damage, and they would find one to get things started. And that is definitely not fun, as Oncho able to get the first stop, and here comes the push onto the sides. The pick is there and it's good for one. Second player in a munch, very, very low at HP. The instant thirst would come through as well. Very crucial, that thirst, because those eliminations do count and are very crucial in this stage of the tournament.
Meadows, what a player. Beautiful spray down. Getting pushed by Honcho, and he has been able to handle himself. Finally, 2 beautiful knocks for him. His team is going to be feeling very confident about him. Backstory, FORKILL Esports is our solo Mauritania team in this lobby, and they are taking out the solo Somali team in this lobby.
How about that? Beautiful scenes indeed, and this is what we're talking about on the map of Rondo. It gives you that little bit of flexibility, but nonetheless, it is going to be FORKILL to grab themselves 3 eliminations to get things started here on the map here of Rondo. And seeing the position that they are on that leaderboard, that is definitely what they need going into this game. And it's one of those cases where it's like, you know, we do know Mad Monkeys to be that team that likes to take early fights. And in all honesty, I would have expected that by now they probably would have brushed up on that part of the game. But let me just assume that it was just this game, no?
Yeah, I'm not quite sure why we're still having hot drops in the second day. But some teams are just stubborn. We saw it happen yesterday. Elite took out MVP twice in Erangel, and the second one was even more crazy because in the first Erangel, MVP fought against 4 players from Elite. In the second Erangel, it was 3 players from Elite, and they still took out MVP.
Wow. How about that? And well, it looks like another taking out is about to happen here with Casino, and that nade looks perfectly cooked. Unfortunately, we will not find the damage just yet, but yeah, nonetheless, drop locations trouble, drop location drama. I think that is what I'm going to rebrand it as. Really, I'm not even too surprised to see it here on the map here of Rondo. But when you say it happens in Erangel, that's where it starts to spark a little bit of concern. But one thing that is concerning here is Team Angry. They have lost one in this altercation here with Team Elite. Elite being one of those very strong teams in the in the lobby right now, currently leading the pack. And right now, already get themselves 1 elimination to get things started here at the Neox factory.
Recalls going down. We have 63 players back up. I think almost every team in the lobby is playing 3-1 split. You know, just keep that one person behind as an insurance policy. Because landing with a full team and losing your engagement is not going to be fun at all.
Yeah, definitely not fun at all. And this was something that we spoke about in length, really, going into the early phases of that gauntlet stage, which I was watching. You know, how do these players approach this map of Rondo, where you can recall what's the strategy, how long or how many players do you push into a fight, how many do you leave behind? In the gauntlet stage, we saw a lot of teams put 2 players to take the fight, and many players to try to find the revive. But right now, going into the finals, it does look like everyone is going for that 3-1 to see if they can get themselves those eliminations. But as your player is taken out, you are instantly recalling, and I might really love to see that one. Give yourself a little bit of a second chance to maybe even do things better and differently this time around. Elite's still not able to find an opening or to continue to penetrate into the side of Team Angry, who's been able to grab the revives, but Mad Monkeys do look to be having trouble on their end as they're being approached here by the side of 3 Crown.
You know, I mentioned some teams are stubborn, and Mad Monkeys, they're one of them, because eliminated by FORKILL Esports, not all the players, though, they got their revive, or their recall rather, and then they came back to fight FORKILL Esports. It's like they are not giving up that drop spot, and now 3 Crown Sports have pulled up to the third party. And it's still going toe to toe with Team Angry. Seems like Elite is more on the winning side.
And in all honesty, I can understand that, really. Or well, I can understand that as to what you're saying. Because for me, it's like, I'm saying that you're doing these things to just kind of see what the mistakes are, what you need to brush up, where you need to, you know, apply a little bit more pressure and all of that. But going back to the same spots, putting yourself or setting yourself up for potential third party, yeah, that's definitely not fine. And this is something that we've spoken about Mad Monkeys, even from the gauntlet stage. You know, but Team Angry here did recall Casino back into the mix, and that's why the first pick now looking to play this a little more aggressive. But there's a lot of SRK heading his way. Kakao gonna be the first to bite it us as he falls, but Switch would follow suit as Team Angry lose one more, but I believe they might recall that player just as soon as they get to a recall station. And this is where it gets for these early altercations that we're loving to see. And I'm liking the plans coming in through. You could tell that this is intentional. They came into this game saying that we're going to take these fights. If we lose players, we're going to recall, but this is the strategy to get ourselves more eliminations and push ourselves up the top of the leaderboard. Got to give it to these players. I love that.
Bro, Switch, what a look at his reflex there. It was really, really nice to see, honestly. We have Ruthless Esports taking it out with Team Angry. They just called and they're getting slammed once again.
No, I understand. Not
Backstory, we have
surprised.
8 PMA finalists in this lobby.
Oh yeah, and man, even where that was something I was going to talk about when I saw the overall leaderboards. That we do have PMAC finalists here, and I see REGNUM-X sitting on 16th position. What is happening to them? I mean, I see them on the elimination feed now, but it's a question of what is going on with them. How are they? How are they 16? 2 points after 5 games. That doesn't even sound like REGNUM-X.
But they are the office yesterday. They had series of bad games. Started poorly. Their problem started with not knowing the start time. When they played Gauntlet, it was an hour earlier for them. So they mixed up the timings. Not quite sure why, because the information was there. So they said the first game as a duo and then just kept on having bad games.
Nah, that is definitely not fun. Not something that you want to see going into the finals. Really, you want to make sure that you're getting everything right on time, right on point, and right on the money. Team Unique not quite able to do that one just yet, as they were not able to grab the revives. It's going to be revives and respawns also coming in from other sides. But then again, we did say REGNUM-X yesterday started on a bad foot. But going into today, right now, they already did lose 2 in their first engagement, and they got no eliminations out of it. You know, REGNUM-X being that team that, you know, in the PMAC group stages, they were very aggressive. You saw them get a lot of eliminations. You know, seeing them not at least take that first fight and not get themselves elimination, it starts to get worrying, especially in the second day of the tournament.
Yeah, you can see Mad Monkeys down to just Ama. I feel like having a second chance in this game could have gone far better if they weren't so stubborn.
Hey, you know what they say, high risk, high reward. And the reward here for Mad Monkeys would just be 3 eliminations for the time being. FORKILL, though, looking to enjoy the most of all of this. They've got 4 eliminations so far, getting themselves started on a very high octane note. And all of this engagement has happened. Like, we're looking at over 10, 12, I would even go as far as saying almost 20 eliminations already gotten in this game so far. And we are still in stage 1.
Bro, that's just the Runde effect.
The Rondo effect, and Mad Monkeys would bring back at least one, and it will be Klaus for them to hold down the fort, and hopefully they will be able to grab themselves maximum points to those 2 players. And I think when I want to hope, really, not like I hope that, you know, with Mad Monkeys getting one more player back in the mix, them still having Amar, I would hope that in this game they would want to go for more of that aggro where they can play spoilers, get themselves a few more eliminations, and that way they could boost themselves up for today, surely and purely off of eliminations.
You know, amongst all the finalists we have, Mauritius is the most represented country. What do you think about that?
The 2 ZEUS are from Mauritius, and in all honesty, there is one style to their gameplay that, and well, there is no style with respect to like saying, oh, you can associate this style of gameplay to those teams, but they do happen to have teams that are very, very aggressive and on that aggro side. So yeah, in all honesty, I'm not very surprised to see their representation here in this tournament. There are teams that actually do play well, and I love to see that coming in through from that region.
Yeah, true. I think one thing that helps Mauritius as a country stand out more is they tend to play LAN events off. So I think that contributes to their experience as well. It's something that
definitely,
is like
I mean,
no.
And with you saying that, I agree. Reason why I'm agreeing being when you're in LAN events, it's a different kind of pressure, right? Having to deal with pressure when you're playing this game is one very strong advantage that you could give yourself here in PUBG Mobile, right? And seeing them hold that pressure in their LAN events, coming into online events like that, the pressure really isn't just as comparable to that LAN event. So yeah, I agree with you on that being at least one of the key factors as to why they be finding themselves representing or why they be finding themselves representing the country a lot more in finals of these tournaments.
We're 12 minutes into this Rondo game, and we still have 56 players up and 16 teams in the game. Beautiful need from Godly.
Indeed, it was beautiful. And ZEUS, I'm trying not to mix them up, but I think blue is Amory. Sorry, ZEUS MORIS, and I forget who the other one is. But nonetheless, it's gonna let me know when the time comes. But right now, knockouts finding themselves in a little bit of a pinch here. Jinaza is still alive. It also looks like this guy might be a cockroach. Not only is he good at playing the game, but he does seem to know how to survive as well.
Yeah, not the best of game for Knockout Esports. Elite still giving them a run for their money because they are stretching the gap more and more. It's pretty much 9 points now, and Elite is still very capable with a trio. I mean,
Yep,
with a duo, they almost won a game yesterday.
Mm-hmm.
The second game, RAGE Esports today, Elite almost won that game, but RAGE said no. So I'm pretty sure a trio can even do far better.
Yeah. Well, sometimes you have to fight. Sometimes you have to fight, even as a duo. But anyway, REGNUM-X not quite able to catch a break tonight, as 3 Crown would find them amidst all of the chaos deep in the blue. But speaking of blue, that zone has moved once more. It's been a very nice zone so far, where it's just been centering up quite nicely. There's a lot of high grounds to play, and it is very wide areas to play out of. So I'd really like to see how these teams would approach this one. A lot of teams finding themselves on the south, and ZEUS MORIS is the red one actually, and not the blue. But ZEUS MORIS finding themselves looking at 3 eliminations here onto the side there of Tribe Warriors, and Chinese, one of their players there in the MVP title, would be the first to fall as he's dropped and instantly thirsted. There is a trade-off though, and now ZEUS forced to take this engagement here with Tribe Warriors.
Tribe Warriors played very, very well yesterday. I'm eager to see if they can keep that same energy or do more. Or it's not seeming so. Tribe Warriors often have, like they often have good games in Rondo, and I'm not quite sure why it's going this way for them, but maybe they've fallen short.
Then again, there's like 3 teams on that southern edge. You see them with ZEUS. They've got the players there from what was the team they're fighting again? But they've got ZEUS on their in their line of sight. They are there as well, and I believe there is one more other team there. So it's third party situations. It could get overwhelming sometimes, but they still survive with 2. And now it's a question of 3 Crown is the last team, and then it kind of gets you wondering if they will be able to grab any respawns, or if it is still even possible for them to grab the respawns at this point, as they are now reduced down to the last and only player to hold down for them.
Not sure if they've gotten any recall yet, but hopefully Mitra can get. I'm not even sure he can leave here because Tracy looks to want to close this out.
Indeed, sure they do. I mean, they're already up.
Try any space.
Yeah, they're already up by 8 eliminations for what it's worth. So definitely, 3 Crown are in here for the treats. But this idea of Team Elite, RECALCITRANTS would bring one more into the mix, and Tribe Warriors will be the first teams to drop. And that is definitely not how they want to start today's games. They only have 3 points that they would take away from this game. And they have to make up for it in the remainder of the game. But then again, Tribe Warriors, the last time I did watch them, they are that team that likes the map of Miramar as well. So given that we've got 2 blocks of Miramar, I think they might have a little bit of a chance to still push themselves to the top of the leaderboards before they go into tomorrow's games.
Yeah, well, they'll really have to do that, else they'll just keep dropping. Teams are doing everything possible to make it into the top 3. And obviously, not every team can make it to the top 3. Our
Definitely
circle
not.
has shifted once again, a bit northwest this time around. Just two teams in the circles, whose final boss and FORKILL spots. REGNUM-X esports should be making it into the circle, but they are still playing poorly.
REGNUM-X not quite able to find their footing just yet. GAMERIZE as well in a lot of trouble as ZEUS MORIS letting those bullets fly, but they would survive for the time being. And Storg were able to get in safe space, but Yamal, we cannot say the same about as he drops and falls. And now we're losing more and more teams here as we lose Team BERSERK second in the map here of Rondo. Things are starting to get serious here in Zone 4. There is a lot of teams on that southwestern edge, and all of them need to drive up north to make it into the next circle.
14 teams remaining, still a lot of players alive. That's just how Rondo is. We just lost REGNUM-X esports in 14th place. Yet another bad game.
Another bad start for them, really, you know. Seeing that yesterday they were only able to get 2 points in 5 games. This first game now today, they were only able to get 1 elimination. Again, for a team that we know to be quite aggressive, we've not really seen them take their fight so well. But anyway, gamers still taking their shots. GAMERIZE still taking the shots there on that south, and it's a lot of trouble, really, from every angle of the zone. And Mad Monkeys really are playing as to what I said. 5 eliminations so far, but they need to get into that next circle. And they would have to ride and swim in that blue zone in order to find their way into the circle. Players there from 3 Crown would grab themselves one more revive as ZEUS MORIS finally lock horns with ZEUS final boss and talk about a fight of the century, just.
ZEUS versus ZEUS. And I was told ZEUS means, is it God or is like
it is a god.
In Mauritius,
chat, can we
cancel like this? In Mauritius, take it easy, take it easy, take it easy.
I'm not taking
take it easy.
Nah, chat, we're not having it, right?
Chat, that is here, by the
way. ZEUS final boss in trouble right now, but it does look to be a little bit of a trade. It's a 1-to-1 trade, but ZEUS final boss finding themselves on the losing end, and here comes 3 Crown. They have been in every fight so far, and they want a piece of it. Paradox would be there to clean up the scraps, and ZEUS final boss would fall. But in the meanwhile, while all of that was happening, we lost Team RECALCITRANTS Elite and Knockouts. Unfortunately, do not have enough players, but RRAGE see themselves a little bit of a chance to boost to the top of the leaderboards.
Bro, teams falling like flies. And that's the tricky thing with Rondo. With the way the circle keeps shifting, there's just a limit to how much you can play edge. Teams that tend to do better are either teams that are well positioned on the edge or the ones that are centered. Although Rondo Blue Zone isn't too harsh in the early games, but there's just a limited time.
Definitely not enough time, and you do have that space, but again, as you just said, not too much in terms of the time. RRAGE cannot afford to go out right now. This is the match where they need to start to capitalize, give themselves that head start that they need to get into this tournament. Bala trying to look for some of those damages, but not quite able to find it. And somehow, some way, 3 Crown are still alive with 14 eliminations. You blink and you miss it, as we miss Mad Monkeys out of the lobbies now. We're down to 7 teams left, and now you can get yourself some placements.
Make that 15 eliminations. They just got one while you were saying 14, so you spoke too soon. I think they want to do everything possible to lock down that top spot. You know, I'm sure what is wrong with REGNUM-X esports, but they finished in 2nd overall in Gauntlet, and they're playing against 6 other teams they played in Gauntlet alongside 9 additions. So you wouldn't expect them to be playing this poorly. We just lost Team Unique and FORKILL esports. You're down to 5 teams.
And indeed, we are down to 5 teams. This is where things start to get really tricky. And talk about a very interesting move there from Paradox. Getting shot out from the blue zone. He's like, I will deal with you later. But 3 Crown, they have a lot of momentum. They have a lot of prowess going into this game as they are waiting rotations from pretty much every solo, every team that is trying to make it into the circle. Messiah to send some shots towards the directions there of RRAGE, but not quite able to find any just yet. Kage trying to see if he can find some more, but RRAGE really puts it in a lot of trouble here on the side of Knockout. Esports and Knockout will find themselves out of the lobby. We are down to the final 4.
3 Crown Esports, Ruthless Esports, RAGE Esports, and Team MVP. All capable teams to snatch the first chicken dinner of the 2. Crowns, if you're to pick a team that's going to win this game, which team will you go with?
Oh no, you're not gonna set up. We're not doing that. We are not doing that. But what we are doing is doing a lot of shooting, and 3 Crown do seem to be having fun while they are at it. They do not have that next circle, and now they have no choice. They have to push up onto, if that is not Team MVP, whatever team that is to their south, they have to push up onto that fight, get that done and dusted, and find their way to the zone. And that doesn't be what they're doing. But there is third party coming into the mix. MVP doing a lot of damage, and here comes Paradox, find a little bit of the Frank angle, but he's got the wrong weapon, and 3 Crown fall with 13. Omega 15 elimination, they would not find any more, as MVP remain alive with all 4 players alive.
Bro, Pushon has 8 eliminations. Solo, that reminds me of Mangi in the last game yesterday. Mangi got 10 solo eliminations in Miramar yesterday. In game 5 yesterday. We are seeing something similar happen.
That rotation is very risky there. And Team MVP would find out why you cannot be rotating like that with all 3 players in one vehicle going into the final circle. RRAGE not quite getting as much eliminations as one would expect, as they continue to let the bullets fly. MVP out of the equation, and they know exactly where these last players are. Grenades being launched towards their location, as Frozen now finds himself in a little bit of a pinch. It is a 2v4, or make that a 3v4, as REX are able to grab one more player back onto the field of battle here. Ruthless still letting those bullets fly, as Frozen does a lot of damage there onto the side. RRAGE still remaining consistent and alive on this one, trying to see if they can grab themselves some angles. But Nkapie, he's holding a very strong angle here for his team, preventing a lot from going on, preventing that push, preventing that comfort here from RRAGE.
We're down to our final 2 teams. You know, I think the problem MVP had was taking a fight too late. They started getting pressed by the blue zone, and they just had to move into the circle, unfortunately.
Our barrage of grenades would stop Frozen in his path and in his lines of movement. And now things are starting to get tricky for the side there of Ruthless Esports, and maybe one more. The flank angle is found, and RRAGE once more today. I've started things off with a winner chicken dinner, and if I'm not mistaken, they got that first chicken dinner yesterday as well on the map there of Rondo. One could almost say the first R in RRAGE stands for Rondo. 10 elimination, 9 knockouts, 1900 damage coming in through from RRAGE Esports. Just gotta love and admire that one, JC, don't you?
Bro, you know, one funny thing that happened yesterday was they won Rondo with 10 eliminations also, but they had 8 knockouts, not 9 knockouts.
Look at that. Consistency is the name of the game, as we see that spread of eliminations across the team members here. 2 coming in through from SZZQ, Pew Pew with 3, Melio with 2, and Palabala with 3 as well. And you just love to see that damage spread coming in through. 2 eliminations there from SZZQ, but he's able to grab himself 600 damage. And man, look at the assists going across the board here from that team. That is just wonderful stuff that you love to see.
88 eliminations in Rondo today. 9,700 heals, 94 knockouts.
And out of those,
Crown Esports. Crowns, what do you think about this?
Three Crown Esports, you blink and you miss it. They took every single fight that they heard and they were able to get themselves as much eliminations as possible. And again, I keep saying it's Rondo. It's not that map you want to be winning with small eliminations. It's not even that map you want to even get out of with little eliminations. And you just love to see this one coming in through from Three Crown Esports, getting themselves 19 points, almost as much points as RRAGE, who won the game. You love to see that one coming into 3,393 damage. I'm not even surprised to see one of the players here from Three Crown Esports be the MVP of the game.
Messiah, 6 eliminations. I'm pretty sure if Team MVP didn't take Three Crown Esports out, he would have gotten up to 10.
Definitely. He wasn't something else. Talk about a third party king doing in the damage before it even gets started. 9 knocks that he was able to get there with 8 eliminations, 1 assist, still helping the team out there in the mix. But nonetheless, we're seeing fresh new names other than Messiah. We see Potion out here as well from Team MVP. Paradox from Three Crown Esports find themselves on this list. Frozen did a lot to survive for his team, but unfortunately, those angles were just too strong there from RRAGE, and that's what happens when you have the numbers. And Medsos from FORKILL gets himself 4 eliminations, and again, FORKILL did get this game started on a very strong foot. Unfortunately, placement wise, they were not quite able to balance it out there, Jesse.
Yeah, had a bit more placement points, they would have probably been 5th. But I hope they are able to fix up in the subsequent matches.
I really hope so too. But man, speaking of fixing up, we see a couple teams looking to find their way up. I'm talking about Team Unique, Team MVP. These are teams that are able to get themselves some more points. And I think teams that are in that 2nd to 4th position would be happy to see that RECALCITRANTS were only able to get themselves 5 points out of this game. The 2 ZEUS brothers not quite able to get themselves a lot of points. It's just going to be 4, with GAMERIZE also getting themselves 4 points out of this game. Tribal Warriors really needed this game, but unfortunately fell short early on in the game. No placements, only 3 points that they were able to accrue. Once again, I would still be surprised whenever I see REGNUM-X Esports be 16th position on the table. We really do not know what is going on with them, but then again, I'm going to say I'm not going to count Rondo results. I would only count the rest towards your performances. But the MVP race is starting to shake now as Messiah has skyrocketed and made his debut here in the overall top players, Jesse.
Messiah, 8 eliminations, pushed him all the way to 2nd. But Mang is still leading the charge in 1st place. The effect of getting 10 eliminations in one match to add to 12 eliminations he already had before that match. A lot of crazy plays. Insane numbers. And look at the damage numbers coming out of all these players. I mean, SZQ with 3,061, Messiah with 3,160. You just got to rearrange those numbers. And Manji not quite able to add any eliminations from this game, as RECALCITRANTS did go out early. And I keep saying it, I'm keeping my eye out there on Jinaza. I'm going to see what he is made of while I am casting. And there we go. RRAGE, I said it in that game. They are looking for that chance to skyrocket to the top of the leaderboard the instance they saw Elite go out. And now they give themselves a little bit of a 2-point lead going into the games today. Think about this part of the table here, Jesse. Able to make it 1st spot. Will they be able to stay in the 1st spot though? RECALCITRANTS Elite dropped to 2nd place. Knockout Esports dropped to 3rd place, and Three Crown Esports have jumped all the way to 4th place.
Love to see that one, and what a game. The Rondo effect, really. And I said it, Rondo is that map that gives you that chance to give yourself a little bit of a boost, a little bit of a head start going into the games, because you get that 2nd chance. And unfortunately, Mad Monkeys not quite able to capitalize on that one. Tribe Warriors did go out early, but they still find themselves in 5th position going into this one. Team Angry with 31 points that they've been able to accrue. They did get themselves a little bit more points to find themselves here in that top 8 position. GAMERIZE slowly dropping, but then again, that battle up there at the top is still looking very strong, as even the team that is sitting down in 8th position still has a chance to go up. Everyone just has to really find their way to outplay those teams that find themselves on the top of the level, because right now they do seem to be pretty much the 3 strongest teams in the lobby at the moment.
That seems to be trying to change that narrative, or if they would just flow with the wind.
And hopefully they are able to flow and keep going with it. Team Berserk out there in 15th position. We did see them go out. In 15th position with 15 points. We did see them go out early in that last game. And in all honesty, one of the first two teams we lost in the last game, Berserk and REGNUM-X, are not quite able to find themselves good and proper footing up on the board. I mean, 41 placement points there from Team Berserk. That just dictates and lets you know what part of their gameplay they need to work on. And even when I start to look at placement points, I speak about ZEUS MORIS. 3 placement points, 24 from elims. They're doing something right with respect to the elims, but when it starts to come to those or grabbing those placement points and surviving, that's where we're starting to see them fall a little bit short here, Jesse.
And that's the thing with PUBG Mobile. You need to be able to find a balance between getting eliminations and getting placement points.
Definitely. But nonetheless, man, you guys got me slacking because I'm just there trying to watch this game, and I'm probably gonna get rid of this green screen before we get to the next one because it looks like we're not using it today. But that being said, thank you all for tuning in for the first game of the night. We've got 4 more to go, so if you've not shared the stream, be sure to share and tell someone to come and witness greatness here in La Coupe d'Africaine. Do not go anywhere. We'll be right back with more PUBG Mobile action.
Welcome to the Pioneer edition of the 10NET Campus Game Fest 2025, and we are live at the University of Ibadan. Game on. Hi, this is Precious. So I'm at Game Fest, and this is my first time coming to Game Fest, and I've been loving it so far. My favorite game of today is Just Dance.
My name is Osaz. I won the FC25 tournament. But it was a very tough tournament, especially the first game. I went to penalties after extra time.
Yes, Kamala Ferwina. I participated in today's tournament in 10 and 80 and Monster tournament, and I was the winner for Free Fire.
My name is Israel. I won the F1 sim racing competition that was held here.
Hello, my name is Ola Ali, and I won Street Fighter 6.
I participated in the Just Dance game, and I've been moving my body. And yes, Game Fest, I would like for you to come back to UI bigger and better. Mission.
The match is about to start.
Now the Womerson, Demo, against Iger. He needs to clear that hill. The boys in yellow. Iger finds him, shuts him down. And 340, 10 more seconds through that door. The oil money team are they going to make history? Very first land, very first win. 347, 348. Now the contest. The boys in lead, no way through. And they are going to hold it down. So S are your champions.
get the people to that bench, comforting to them, send them out, big round sports. Everybody aware that there's someone who this is going to end the final games of the night.
Hi guys, it's me Tue and I'm live here at the 10 and 80 Game Fest campus happening right here in Abuja. If you are seeing this, there's lots of games, music, networking and so much fun happening, and the best part, it's all free.
My name is Russia and I'm the winner for the Cross Mobile.
Joshua, I won the tournament for Street Fighter 6. Shalom,
Me from Winifred.
It's Mustafa Sani. I'm the winner for the Forza Horizon 3 Championship. I won the fire competition today. It was hosted by 10 and 80 and Monster.
We need more of this. We need 10 more, 20 more. I did this every day.
I want to say a very big thank you to 10 and 80 and Monster for hosting this competition.
This has shown me that esports can go far in Nigeria.
When I saw the opportunity to compete in this game, I knew that yes, this is it. I can definitely win it, and I came out victorious today.
Huge thank you to 10 and 80 and Monster for the wonderful tournament hosted.
I want to thank the sponsors, 10 and 80 and Monster Energy, for bringing such a wonderful event.
At the 10 and 80 Campus Game Fest right here in Port Harcourt. It's games, music, networking and non-stop fun. The best part is it's all free, and if you're seeing this, your campus can be next.
Everyone, I'm Jindu. I'm the winner of Just Dance game, and I want to use this medium to appreciate Monster Energy Drink and 10 and 80.
Welcome to the Pioneer edition of the 10 and 80 Campus.
Ladies and gentlemen, hello and welcome. Again, he's not here. Again, he's not here. But that being said, ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to La Coupe d'Africaine season. Are in the finals. My green screen is out of there. We are league crowns. I shall hear nothing, but nonetheless, the thing I want to hear about is the beautiful game of PUBG Mobile that we're witnessing. We've gotten started here in the finals and today with RRAGE getting themselves the first winner of the day there on the map of Rondo, doing it in style, getting themselves 10 elimination. I do not know if Jesse is here or if Jesse can hear me, but Jesse going into game first angle of the day. How are you feeling about the match?
Let's Erangel of the day. Erangel actually comes up to do what seems to do here. Rondo is starting to be the closely favorite map, though. Erangel is still Ashmon.
I mean, I can understand. I mean, we saw 88 eliminations of course it will be one of your favorite maps because you get a whole lot of action, and that is one thing that we're always excited to see here in the game here of PUBG Mobile. But my first round girl playing part, I feel so. Then again, it's the finals. Is what you get. You get what you get, and you work with what you have. It's a very standout all the way from the north of Severnia. Well, make that the northwest of Severnia, taking us down to the waters of Primos. Not too many available to drop, so we might be a bit of altercations here and there early on. So Jesse, I know you're probably not going to like the start of this Erangel game.
Oh, there's something I'm surprised about. MVP is not landing at 70. That's not something you see in every Erangel.
Interesting. I'm not too well. Let me not say I'm not too surprised. You did mention a bit of your hot drop yesterday. So going into today's game, seeing them land elsewhere, I think that's just going into proactivity. But then again, Jesse, man, that is not even nice. The options aren't even too much. Have split loot down there on the the south of Gatka around the chopsticks. So not too much of loot that you enjoy. That is definitely enough for at least two of the teams here.
Yeah, because they're all packed on the west. And then the circle decides to pop. Decides to pop at that area still. So a lot of teams are going to have the team back.
Exactly. And in all honesty, I like when the zone does. I like when there's a lot of teams. I like I guess it's lobby. Reason being, I know major teams here, especially in the African region, seem to really want it on the edge, right? So usually they'll try to rotate late, get into those circles a little bit later. But I like when it forces them to all be in that one. And then it's basically the game. Then what is your move? What do you do now? How do you play? Let us know who truly enjoy playing the art of edge gameplay.
Right now, I can't really say much about that because a lot of teams are trying center. A lot of teams are trying edge. And I'm not quite sure which is the best. I do know Vincent have been trying to play center though.
Well, I do like there is one that is the best, is better. I think it's just down to what you want and how you play. Because as much as when playing on the edge would give you emotions, we've seen teams actually play in the center and a lot of eliminations. I mean, even in this lobby as well, we've seen that happen too, where we're seeing teams gather themselves eliminations and play from the edge. I think you play just really depends. And for me, one thing I would say if I could do it would just mix up the gameplay a bit. Play center when the zone pushes you to the edge, be able to play. I think flexibility would be game of PUBG Mobile.
Since not working the way Timang would have planned, they are down to a solo, going toe-to-toe with ZEUS final boss. And it doesn't seem like Timang is making it out of there. I mean, Casino is... Casino... Wow, okay, now I didn't see that one coming.
No, we did not. Aziz good for 2. It's now a 1v2 situation with one of those players very low on HP. He's done a lot of damage there, Casino, but he has to bear in mind that there's no for 3, but not for 4. Aziz final boss remain alive in this one. Get them for elimination. Unfortunately, one. and play the rest of the game as a 3-man squad.
Look, Casino took down 3 players solo. What a player.
Right.
I mean, when I looked at his
player,
load, I wasn't really expecting him to do so much because with the way shotguns have become the new meta of the game, you'd expect that if someone doesn't have a shotgun, he can't really do much. But right? Down 3 players from his FINALBOSS. Beautiful stuff.
Stuff from him, reminding us exactly why that gun off. That called the I forget the number, but the UMP is a very, very strong way. Oh, 5. There we go. It's a very strong gun. One thing that I'm surprised to see is Mad Monkey. Because I saw Mad Monkeys land very close there. From it was REX. Yeah. I saw them land very close.
Yeah.
So and we saw that happen. So it's in the gauntlet stages where anything that lands Gatka aside of Mad Monkeys, they would seem to take that early fight towards them. But this time, it does look like that early fight would be found on their first rotation as they lock horns with the side of 3 Crown Esports. Mates now being traded as so now it's Kage does, and here comes to push Kage. HP very low until he gets the call to push, and indeed he will get dropped. These get themselves a very high octane start because Paradox 4 is down as well. 3 Crown down to the last 2 players, and again seems like they will have to shake off that Sondo vibe because right now recalling anymore. Light is good for 2 as he same things back in this one, but he's getting shot out from an off angle by Tony, who eventually finds the knock and desire to hold down the fort. He's newly made it into the top players list, and now it's a question of hold on the fort in this 1v1 showdown between himself and Tony. It doesn't look like it. So if I try a little bit, the shots now, damage being done, and Tony, he trapped that heal before the push comes in through from Messiah, but Messiah is not having a shotgun in the hand there of Tony, looking to tease him out a little bit, but the third party comes through clutch, and 3 Crown 4 with Mad Monkeys remaining alive in this 1v2 play.
Messiah is going to be so pissed. Ruthless is able to
Maybe not anymore.
3 Crown Esports and Mad Monkeys. Bro, I was actually eager to see if Tony was going to clutch with Messiah, but Swash said no.
Nah, they have been a there, Ruthless Esports, and I love the proactivity coming in through from Ruthless Esports. For a team that's seated what on top 10, yes, this is the attitude going in the game of today. You hear that to third parties, and that is just a luckiness that is coming in through from the side there of Ruthless Esports, and I have to commend that. As I said, I expected that Mad Monkeys would push up onto Ruthless Esports, given that is how Mad Monkeys have played all the way from the gauntlet stage. You know, anybody that joins them around their drop location, they push up onto them. But this time they chose to go for a rotation, met with the side of Sports, and Ruthless Esports very, very quick, hearing that fight happening, going for the putting yourself eliminations off of both teams as well. 3 elims, that is a very solid way to start your match here.
Yeah, very true. And Ruthless Esports desperately need all these points. They are currently in 10th place, 32 points. If they do a good game here, then we are going to top 5 because the gap isn't much.
Exactly, and you did say before the game gets started here that, you know, top 5 does get the share of that prize pool. So definitely, you know that the players there from Ruthless Esports still have something that they're fighting for. FORKILL, a team that was able to get themselves early elimination in that first map of the day in Rondo, looking relatively slow and quiet here in Gatka. They're just chilling around, very close to the chopsticks, trying to stay alive, stay calm, stay composed. And again, maybe these fights are happening the way they are right now because of that playing path and the zone, you know, because everybody now is forced to play in the zone quite early. And RECALCITRANTS find themselves in a little bit of trouble as they jam with the side there of ZEUS MORIS up on Mountain West.
Cross God taking shots over to Elite. ZEUS MORIS really need to close out this fight quickly. Elite, a very capable team. Kakao charging the nades. Rush God also charging the nades. And Conan Boy with a beautiful spray onto Kakao. ZEUS MORIS seem to be more on the offensive end here. Rush got doing too much, getting dropped by Edward there. Moses Morris with the rope. We'll see if they'll be able to close it out with Elite.
And that is the question that we've got in mind. Elite's trying to buy themselves a lot of time to see if they can grab themselves the revives, the nades, and the shots are coming in through as simple. He's able to balance out that equation. ZEUS, they get one revive back up, but they lose one more. Cacao, still unable to get revive just yet as the grenades are starting to fly and land and connect. It's still a 1-1 trade here on both ends. And ZEUS, Morris, and Elite really, really locking horns here on the top of the hill as Conan Boy now looking to get revived.
Beautiful nade from Faker. Almost taking out Edward there. But nearly can't kill it dead, as it's commonly said. I think ZEUS Morris is more positioned than Elite. But if they take too much time in this fight, there you have it. Faker with a knock on Mangi. I think this is going to be the push. Still charging more nades. He just wants to play it a bit more cautiously because he knows Elite is a very capable team, even as a zoo. And there you have it, the third party from ZEUS final boss. Luffy getting a knock there on Simple. Elite not having the best of their day in Erangel.
And that is not something that we see every day. Edward able to draw one back, but cannot do so for too long. As ZEUS Morris sharing every member there from Elite evenly to send them back into the lobby. One elimination apiece for everybody, and they get themselves 4 elimination. And really, you did say it all. That was actually very good positioning coming in through from ZEUS. They approached the top of Mount Everest very well, very calmly as well. And you could see them, they got that first knock knowing that it was Elite. Got that first knock, did not really push up on it because the ladies is a very strong team. Chose to continue to stay with that high ground advantage, and they are completely eliminated the side there of Team Elite without even needing to draw too close to them. It was really just long range engagement, or well, mid range engagement from both sides, and they were able to get themselves those 4 points. I love to see that one coming through from ZEUS Morris. That is one way to play the game. That is good. And now they've opened up the top of the leaderboard completely for pretty much any more teams who are strong and brave enough to compete for that top 5.
Frag grenades. Very powerful. Sadly, not a lot of players use them. You know, that's what actually helps ZEUS Morris not to push too closely there. We have FORKILL Esports, the only Mauritanian team. I'm actually eager to see how they will play. They used to be one band esports. One band esports, rather. Didn't say that right. And now they're FORKILL Esports. 1 player down, 3 players up, still very capable. No? Yeah, true. And here's Team Unique. Madman. Probably the best fragger in Mauritius right now. He's 1 player that always gets numbers done. Always.
Well, and right now he's got one to get things started, and he's got Franco dancing and burning as well. FORKILL in a lot of trouble. Team Unique is a very strong force to be pushing up to you, and you know Team Unique seated in that position of the leaderboard down in the bottom 13. You know, sitting in 13th, you know that they do not like to be here. Already up to 5 eliminations here in Erangel. They're telling everybody that, hey, you guys had your fun there in the map there of Rondo. But Erangel, when the actual maps get started, we are coming in hot. But right now, maybe not hot enough as FORKILL able to grab themselves the revives again. They've lost 1, but nonetheless, they still remain as a 3-man squad. They're holding it up in the building. They're very, very susceptible to grenades now, and smokes have been deployed everywhere. Madman. And man, Jesse, look at how he just pushed into that building. The confidence that just comes out of knowing that you're one of the strongest fraggers in the lobby is insane.
Bro, his confidence is always high. What a player. FORKILL Esports taking it slowly. They're taking too much time to try and close it out with Team Unique. And REGNUM-X Esports not so far behind. First drop from Cash. I think that's going to be second drop. They're not surviving.
Indeed, they are not. The third party is imminent. It is strong. And Team Unique have held their end very well. Patience does play well. But REGNUM-X want a little bit of this trouble as they start to send the smokes and the grenades in the direction. Smokes coming in, nades coming in, but no knocks to be found just yet. And I love the play coming in through from Madman. Leave the building, try to get herself out of positions where he could be naded. And I think with that, they're able to ward off the side of REGNUM-X, at least for the time being.
I think right now we better play a bit to retreat and try to regroup. But it seems like Team Unique is just trying to get easy. I called it. More third parties will keep coming to this area, and GRM have pulled up to the scene and yet another Mauritius team.
And it gets you wondering how you even want to approach this type of game, right? Again, this is why I like this kind of circles, because in this kind of game, it's like, how do you approach it, knowing that every team in the lobby likes to play on the edge, right? But right now, the circle has forced everyone to play in the center. So now everyone is in the center and everyone has to take their fights. It's like, how do you take these fights? How do you hang on? You know, the third party is going to come through from anywhere, and you can just see Unique. Normally, they know that on a normal day, we're close to the center of the circle. If we're taking a fight like this, we really shouldn't have that much third party because everyone is going to be at the edge, you know. But right now, not everyone is on the edge. Everyone is relatively close to that center, and they are able to third party pretty much fights as they hear them happen. Team Unique completely sent out into the back into the lobby, and it looks like this Erangel game, patience is the name of the game, because all these teams are getting the 1 knock, 2 knocks, but they're playing it relatively slower, as GAMERIZE able to get themselves 1 knock onto the side of REGNUM-X.
You know, GAMERIZE, I was going to say GAMERX, my bad. GAMERIZE, they've been taking shots from afar. It seems like they've gotten tired of the long range shots and they decided to just roll up. And now they've been able to take out one player from REGNUM-X esports. Yeah.
I mean, they've watched what? 3 teams just go out in that building alone, or well, 2 teams go out in that building alone, and look at what we're saying about that map. Everyone is relatively close to the center, so you're highly susceptible to third party, and that zone does close up once more, and it's going to favor Gatka. But as I was saying, they've watched a lot of teams already. 2 teams go out in that same spot. It is understandable that they would run out of patience.
Yeah, and right now they are pretty much the only teams that are fairly centered. But it seems like they've called the retreat. 2 eliminations enough for now. Let's get a better position and go on for more.
Go on for more is real. Indeed it is, and that is what you want, more and more, because it never is enough here in the map here of PUBG Mobile, or sorry, in the game here of PUBG Mobile. Ruthless Esports got things started on a high octane note here. Get himself 3 eliminations to get things started. Playing it relatively slower. I like to see that one come through from them, because so far so good. It does seem like we've deciphered that, you know, patience is the name of the game. But one thing I cannot resist pointing out here, Jesse, we are still in phase 3 and we've lost almost half of the lobby. 9 teams left. That's a lot of space to play with, and now the trajectory, how you play the game, has to change.
I think for all the teams that have gone out early, the team that wasn't really expecting to go out this early was Elite, because they've given room for RAGE Sports to try to increase the gap. 2 eliminations gotten already in this match, still a full team. And I'm pretty sure their confidence is high.
Yeah, exactly. And with the way RRAGE played yesterday, you can tell that if there's one thing that they're really, really working on, it is their prowess there in staying alive. And ZEUS will not be able to, as they whoop up into the building. NorCal Esports, they do not waste any time. Grenades flying with respect for defense here, coming in through from REGNUM-X, but the grenades are landing on themselves as Hades finds himself being the cause of his demise here. Gogolu sent a grenade into his own building, and there's only so much he can do. SOK in the hand, but how much damage can you do? You're getting pushed from every single angle, and REGNUM-X, before they even understand what is going out, they become the 3rd team to get taken out in that compound.
Boy, oh boy. Knockout Esports, 70 points, 9 points behind RAGE Esports. Yet another team that is doing everything possible to go all the way to first. And REGNUM-X Esports have made it much, much easier for them.
I don't know if I'm the only one who cannot hear this, but nonetheless, it is one way to play the game, and they are playing this one very well tonight. But nonetheless, we're still moving. Ruthless Esports still looking for their way into that circle. They have to look to come in air from that western edge. Just give me 1 second. I'm having some difficulties here with my sound.
8 teams remaining, 29 players up. Crowns, you avoided predicting a team to win in a rondo. I'm not going. Crowns. Um, I think, I think.
Just keep going. All right, ladies and gentlemen, my bad. I had to confirm some things, but if there's one other thing we have to confirm, I hope I can see that map once more. But that zone has moved all the way towards that eastern edge, and now here comes trouble. The chopsticks, not really safe, but it is a place that it is, but it is one that it is a place that you can play out of, but you just can't stay there for too long. Jesse started to get smaller and smaller. These teams are being forced now to rotate. And finally, I think if there's one thing I'm happy the most about, Jesse, it is the fact that, you know, that building that we saw 3 teams go out of, it is out of the circle.
Just in one compound. Just in one compound. 3 teams. It was like a party after party kind of thing.
Party after party, eliminations after eliminations. But I was talking about RRAGE as well. They're one team that has seemed to focus on staying alive onto the final circles. I mean, yesterday, the 2 chicken dinners that they won, we didn't see them win it with a lot of eliminations. And right now, with the likes of Team Elite going out early, it gives RRAGE that not just confidence, but it gives them that little bit of cushion, because right now we're already entering placement points range, and yeah, pretty much placement points range here in the game, and you just know that they are going to try to max out the points that they're getting this one to give themselves, or to increase that space between themselves and Team Elite.
Crowns, what do you notice about GRM, Toga?
About GRM?
Toga, precisely.
You know, Thoga, I don't know. I've actually not paid that much attention though. I do see him getting elimination. Is it the same Thoga from Slime?
You get the memo now.
Oh, how about that? I didn't see Slime here in the finals. I did expect to see them here in the finals. But it does look like we were not quite able to make it past the group stages. Did they participate at all?
Yeah, they did. They went out in the group stage.
Oh, quite unfortunate. Well, it's the big dogs here in the finals. Unfortunately, they are not in here at the moment. MVP though, still out there trying to survive. They've got 3 players alive on this one. Team BERSERK also in a whole lot of trouble trying to ride that blue zone, but they've got RRAGE just right in front of them, and it would be very, very crucial for the entire lobby if they are able to do something to RRAGE right now. But RRAGE, they are looking to grab their revives one after the other. SCCQ trying to see if I can put in as much information as possible, but there is third party, and it is imminent as MVP now take the fight towards the side there of GAMERIZE? GAMERIZE. Yep,
yeah,
GAMERIZE indeed.
Well,
woo! That one. In fact, that name is what to say, shush and sit down. That is exactly what the call is. And MVP would be feeling it as well as Potion Falls, Revenge. The last player left now for Team MVP, trying to see if he can get himself those elimination. And you love to see that one. Get yourself the thirsts. You have the knocks. It is a 1v1. But right now, just try to see if you can prevent those revives from coming in through. The third party is still imminent though. Oh well, the fight is still hot. Right now, Revenge, you cannot do too much. This is not how you're planning to take a fight against 3 players. At this point, you really have to leave here or try to push that fight. And it doesn't look like he wants to push. I would say try to get into your buggy, try to get out of here, look for better places to stay in the circle.
He just keeps rolling, and I'm not sure he's going to survive this, because he should have just gone for the revive sooner. Him surviving is highly dependent on GRM not pushing.
Yep.
And there you go.
Yep. It was inevitable. It had to happen. It was this is one of those situations where you have to make up your mind quickly. Do you want to fight or do you want to leave? But right now, GAMERIZE with Thoga in the mix, currently holding 6 eliminations, looking very strong. The most in the lobby, well, maybe not the most in the lobby. Unique did get 8, but they are out at the moment. But nonetheless, they are looking big. They're looking chilling out here on that northeastern edge of the zone.
Crowns, you avoided my question in Rondo. I'm not going to allow you breathe in this match. We have 6 teams remaining. Take a pick. Which team is going to win?
I'm telling you, I'm still not going to succumb. Nonetheless, I'm going to have to see what is going on with respect to terrain and how everyone is moving. RRAGE in a lot of trouble as Balabala now getting shot at from every single angle. The vehicle explosion will not be taking him out, but he does get uprooted as this is now turned into full-on chaos here in Erangel. The open fields will always be chaotic as GAMERIZE find themselves out in the lobby as they're not able to find anywhere to stay in this new circle as the circle does go down south. And it is outside an open field finish here, Jesse. We're going to see some close pulled off.
The circle just blessing this Morris here. And they handled it well, though. 10 eliminations. And you know, a couple seconds ago, they had just 4 eliminations. They've been able to add 6 to the mix. We're down to our final 4 teams. RAGE ESPORTS once again. Knockout ESPORTS, ZEUS MORIS, and RUTHLESS ESPORTS.
Just love to see that one coming in through from RRAGE. But then again, ZEUS MORIS, of course, you blink, you miss it. Like they had almost they had like 4 different teams that were trying to find a place in the circle, and all they just had to do was basically shooting practice. They were shooting drills for them as they were able to take them out. But right now, ZEUS need to stay alive. They're taking a lot of damage, and they need to really play gatekeepers, and they need to play gatekeepers very well.
Push from esports, and unfortunately both players have been taken out.
ZEUS MORIS leaving their compound. Okay. It's not working out well for them. Knockouts taking out in the side, but ZEUS still survived with 3 players alive. But RRAGE, what is your move? RUTHLESS ESPORTS, what is your move? RRAGE can't do too much. They're down as Solo and Melio position has been exposed. The zone is starting to move. The vehicle has been the cause of death of pretty much every other person in the lobby, and Melio will not be any different as he falls. RRAGE go out, but it is ZEUS MORIS to win the second game of the day. The second winner chicken dinner of the day. 13 eliminations, 2200 damage coming in through from that team, and look at them. They were not able to go out, or well, they were not able to go out with the most points in that first map of Rondo as they went out to their fellow brothers. But in this game, they have played it well and gotten themselves not just the win, but 13 healthy and strong eliminations to go alongside it.
Wow, over 2,200 damage, 13 eliminations. I actually had the feeling, you know, I said it earlier on that I expect them to do better today. I'm glad they're not proving me wrong.
Yet. But nonetheless, they have put in damage here, and Anos is going to get himself 6 out of those eliminations. There's 750 damage, 3 assists to go alongside it. You love to see that one, and we're starting to see numbers that look like normalcy in the map summary as we've got 60 eliminations here in Erangel, 5,600 in terms of healing, 65 knocks coming in through with 2 vehicle eliminations. And man, this is such an unfair head-to-head, but look at the damage numbers being done by RUTHLESS ESPORTS. I think RUTHLESS ESPORTS, a lot of third-party action that they got themselves into, especially early on in that game around the Gatska area, and they were able to get themselves and secure themselves 1,000 damage going into this game.
RUTHLESS ESPORTS being numbered as well, but not anywhere close to ZEUS MORIS. Anno 17, the MVP of our second game of the day. 6 eliminations, 650 damage, 6 knockouts. ZEUS MORIS finally waking up. You love to see it.
You love to see that one. Again, it was shooting practice, and Arnold showed that he is that player who has been spending time practicing those drills there in the firing range or in the training grounds. You love to see that one coming in through from them. But ZEUS MORIS, they did play this one well. Started off relatively slow, took their first engagement well, and then continued to play the rest of the game. And one player that I've been saying that I'm looking forward to seeing, it is that Jinaza boy from Knockouts, and he was able to get himself 4 eliminations in this one. Conan boy with 3. Swash, my bad, gets himself 3. And man, you have to talk about Swash too from RUTHLESS ESPORTS. We're talking about how well they were doing their third parties, and Swash happened to be one of those players who was able to get himself those third party knocks.
really doing a lot for Ruthless Esports. I think he's one of their finest players because he's the one that took out Messiah from Trican Esports. I think he took out one of the players from Mad Monkeys as well. So yeah, kudos to Smosh.
Kudos to Swash and kudos to all 5 players that are up here on the top here, as Frags also finding his way in there from Team Unique. Team Unique able to get himself 8 points in this game, and as much as Team Unique is trying to boost up the top of the leaderboard, it is looking relatively hard. They're not quite able to breach into those double digits in terms of getting total points. Right now they have 8. In the first game of the day, I believe they had about 6 or 7. Right now they're going to need even more numbers than this if they're looking to threaten or even find a way to not just the first page but also into the top of the leaderboard. But speaking of tops, ZEUS, MORIS, 23 points that they were able to get from that one, and right now overall top players is starting to look different.
Really different. You see Slater has made it into top 5. I think everything looked the same as at game 1. You know, Slater actually took out Elite last night in the last game, and that's how he got a couple of the eliminations that are also contributing to his total eliminations right now. I think Slater is also a fine player, holding it down in GAMERIZE esports.
Love to see that one. And GAMERIZE, we did speak about the rotation going into that game, and we saw how they played that one. And years later, able to get himself 14 eliminations now to put himself in that top 5 list. You do know that there is a lot of battle coming in through, and that gap continues to increase. We are up to 9 points between first position and second. Knockout Esports now being the one in second, and RECALCITRANTS, they've not been able to get more than the 3 points that they got here, or maybe 5 points actually, in that first map of Rondo. We wonder what is happening. We're going to keep a close eye on them so far. But man, ZEUS, MORIS, this is exactly what we call the power of a chicken dinner. 50 points.
A long-awaited one at that. I think if they keep up this momentum, they should be able to be top contenders for top 3. Hopefully for them.
Indeed. We look at that one, but then again, GAMERIZE, FINALBOSS, Team Angry, Team Unique, again getting himself points, but still not enough to really push them to the top of the leaderboards. But then again, we look forward to seeing how well they will play it in the coming games as we go into them as they come through. But then again, I believe this Erangel was just there for everybody to just get a few, get Rondo out of your system. But speaking of things that we're getting out of our system, it is the games. Do not go anywhere. Like the stream. If you've not subscribed to the channel, if you've not, be sure to share it as well. And we will be right back for more PUBG Mobile action on the map of Erangel. Pose for the camera. Get ready for the game. And we are about to get things resumed here in La Coupe de Africana Season 3. We are currently in the grand finals. This is the second day. He's still not here. But nonetheless, I've got Jesse here with me. Jesse, how are you feeling? We're about to get into the midpoint of tonight's games. We're in the middle point. We're about to get into Erangel once more, the last Erangel of the day. How are you feeling going into the games?
Bro, what I just witnessed in the first Erangel, I'm eager to see 2x, if that makes any sense. I know. Match 8.
Match 8, truly. And we're running out of games. We are running out of games. Now is the point where teams really need to get their this is where they're about to, they need to get themselves in place. They need to get themselves in order. But anyway, it's a nicer playing path this time, Jesse. It's taking us all the way from the waters of Novo up to the waters of Severny, diagonally slicing across the map. I believe everyone should be able to get to their normal and intended drop spots in this match.
Yeah, we have I think a fairly better flight path than the previous Erangel. I think anyone here should be able to fly to wherever they would want to go to. So yeah, I don't expect to see any hot drop. So this team should not just start doing that. We have Team BERSERK in Novo Rep Noye. FORKILL, it seems like we might have a hot drop. I'm not sure whether FORKILL esports and REGNUM-X esports are going to Sosnovka, but it seems so.
There are big places they can share. But yeah, with respect to the hot drops, I'm also not expecting to see much, but you know, it's when you talk about it, you might end up jinxing it. But anyway, it's very interesting to see Three Crown Esports relinquish Pochinki for the side there of Team Unique. I usually respect plays like that sometimes. Rather go for a secondary drop spot, land around, play spoiler, do something else, as compared to trying to spend the entirety of the finals fighting and battling for drop locations. But the zone and the PUBG Mobile gods really want me to have a good time, Jesse. It's a Western shift. Things ended up on the West in the last game, but this is a different kind of West.
Oh, this time around, not a lot of teams in that circle.
This time, not a lot of teams in the circle. I believe we're going to say a bit of normalcy. It gives some of these teams the chance to play well. But then again, we might not see that because of the type of zone that we have. At least we wouldn't necessarily. Well, I wouldn't expect any rotations at this point. But right now, you pretty want to wait for those first, 3 shifts before you can finally make up your mind as to where in the circle you really want to play. Because right now, if you say you want to play edge, unless you're going to be playing on the water, you would have to play on the shorelines. And right now, the shorelines on those western edges of Erangel, they're not very safe to play.
Yeah. Well, we've seen that MVP is not in 70 anymore, so that confirms that they're no longer trying to go head to head with Elite anymore, which I'm liking, honestly. Because yesterday it wasn't nice to see. Dying twice in the same team. I'd have really gotten pissed if they landed there again today.
But then again, you have to understand that these players also know what is at stake. And as you said, this is something that I would even personally commend them for, going for something different. And also, seeing the way the first 2 games have gone, they're like, well, we don't necessarily need to hot drop them to stop them. We just have to we just have to do our thing. But speaking of doing our thing, RRAGE right now, they are slowly, if they say somebody slowly won something or someone slowly wins something, I think RRAGE is the perfect example of that, because right now they are doing it slow, they're doing it steady, and it is working out for them.
Yeah, right.
But nonetheless, we're still seeing movements from other parts of the map. In case you're wondering where your favorite teams are, we've got the side there of Team ZEUS FINALBOSS looking to chill out there in Zarky MVP, who's currently on your screen. They are out there chilling in Stolba. Severn is being held by none other but Team Elite. Out there in Rozok, we've got Knockout Esport Tribe Warriors looking to have a little bit of fun in school with Ruthless Esports just out on their outskirts. Mad Monkeys not going for their ruins and North Gatka drop this time. They would settle for Muta and a bit of a split drop with Amar looking for vehicles and looking to scout for enemies. Team Angry looking to relax there in farm. Unique is holding things down there in Pochinki with 3 Crown Esports relaxing in and down on the south with the Quarry and Ferry Pier area. We have the players there from FORKILL. But then again, Jesse, when we look up and we look at Jojo Paul, we are seeing ZEUS, MORIS, who just won that last game, and the side there of GAMERIZE, who also had themselves a very good game in that angle. Well, in that first angle of the day. But nonetheless, movement is assured. And again, this is what I was saying about that first game, right? That first game just being the game that you're using to pretty much set the tone or to pretty much get Rondo out of your system, because really you do need, it is a whole mentality switch coming from a map where you know that if you go down you can get but if you get eliminated you can get recalled. It's a huge shift from that to a map where it is one and done. You go out, you're out. There's no bringing back, there's no two ways about it. So right now, that first game very chaotic in the early phases, also because the zone forced everyone to be quite in that circle. But right now it does look like everyone else is just be chilling, trying to see if they can slow down the rotation. But man, with the splits that 3 Crown is holding in the center of the circle, it could start to be a problem when we go into the later phases of the zone. But you know what they say, PUBG Mobile, movement is always assured. You have to keep moving, you have to stay dynamic. We have the players there from Knockouts just finding their way out of Rozok. I did mention earlier that they were chilling in Rozok. But then again, I guess this is perfect time to actually speak about Team Elite, because in all honesty, I'm trying to see what's going on. I've not seen that before, but I know it's probably giving you like some type of loot. Do you have to explode it? I think you have to. He does. Wow, look at that spray. My 3x is never that. Oh, that's interesting. That's really interesting to see. Yeah, but as I said, Team Elite, we've not really seen them play as well as we expect. But then again, it's day 2, right? Watching the gauntlet stage, it just kind of puts a little bit of things in perspective, because that gauntlet stage did feel like a little bit of a mini final. You know, with many of these teams really going at it, because there was a lot to fight for. And here in the finals, there just is also a lot to fight for. So Team Elite not getting started very well in the first 2 games of the night. But then again, in the gauntlet stage, we saw them be that team that has that energy that can hold to the end of the game. I would usually see them in the gauntlet stage start to pick up their feats, pick up their performances when we start to head into the final games. But anyway, this trouble that you're looking at right now between Ruthless Esports and Mad Monkeys is going on the western edge of the circle, with Mad Monkeys now looking to push in to this fight. They want the trouble, and Swash finds himself in a lot of trouble as they are heavily surrounded by players here from Mad Monkeys, and both will eventually fall with a Molotov to clear things out. And Nkapie and Senior would be the last players left for Team Ruthless, and that is not fun. That is not fun at all for them. But I think Mad Monkeys have an idea as to where at least Nkapie is. A lot of smokes that he's throwing to prevent views coming in through, but he might be able to escape this one with that third party that is looking to loom from the side of RRAGE. And Nkapie definitely not immune to grenades as he falls. Senior now gets into the buggy with the hopes to escape and run out of dodge. And Chad, I don't see people popping tires of the buggy anymore. Did they patch it? Does it not work anymore? Can't lie, I think it still works. It's a question of how well it works or how efficient it is now. But anyway, Team Unique, as I said, they've been slowly but surely climbing up the top of the leaderboards, but not doing it as fast as I would want. Currently down with one player, but they were able to get themselves one elimination. And speaking of eliminations, RRAGE looking to get themselves a little bit more. This is not something that we really see from RRAGE, them taking fights early on in the game, because we know them to be that team that just likes to survive and likes to find a way to the final circle. Team Unique finding themselves in trouble as Pre-Crowd Esports now start to rain the bullets, rain those shots towards their direction. And man, oh man, you've got to admire the accuracy coming in through from the sprays. Light didn't do himself a lot of damage, and he continues to do more. That player down on HP, and the Madman falls. Team Unique down to one more player in frags. And again, this is Erangel. There is no respawning. There's no bringing you back. You're gone. You're gone. No two ways. No redos. No makeovers. Paradox is down there for the side of 3 Crown as well. But 3 Crown would remain alive. And surprisingly, everyone seems to be approaching this game the way last game was, as we see many, if not even almost all. There's only like 3 teams right now who are not remotely close to the center of the circle. We've got every other person in the center of the circle, with RRAGE just being that team that is out there on the edges. And again, this is what I was saying. RRAGE, that team right now is playing on the edge. They most likely wouldn't get as much eliminations from playing from the edge. But then again, they're not a team that does get a lot of eliminations. So that's why I said earlier that it's really down to how you yourself play. But anyway, Zone has proven to look different this time, as we do get a northern shift. Mount Everest would be enjoying a lot of real estate in there as Mad Monkeys eventually go out. And right now, I start to wonder what is happening again. Oh, no, not start to wonder what is happening, actually. We start to see traces of what we've seen before, right? Because so far, so good, other than Rondo, which again, that one you just have to fight, right? Of which even Rondo 2 I can count. But like, the early engagement, they've not really been taking that well. It's almost like they need a second chance every single time they take those early fights, you know. And this last game where they still seem to get themselves a few bit more decent points, we saw them not take early engagements, you know, but then again, they did not. That was the time where they wanted to go for 3 Crown instead of the team that landed with them. Right now, Team Berserk unable to hand trouble over to the side of REGNUM-X, and Haiti is just trying to see if he can survive. And he would be using the terrain to his advantage as he's able to find somewhere to hide. But Team Berserk, you're doing that damage. You know it's a solo. You might want to increase the prowess on that push. And it does look like that is what they're doing, trying to see if they can pick up those audio cues. But Sphinx knows that he cannot get taken out on the top of this, or it knows that he cannot forfeit this high ground that he's gotten on the pitch. Which I kind of wonder why he's holding, really, because he did not have the zone. But Mount Everest would see trouble again. And this time it would be a different ZEUS to hold on the trouble. They won the last game, but this time they do not have all 4 players in. And that might not bode well for them. Definitely will not bode well for them, because they're trying to hold a very strong spot in the circle. And they have just the 3 players up. So that's not fun. Team Berserk, though, still in trouble here, as they have to push up to the side of REGNUM-X. They were able to get down some players there from REGNUM-X, with ZEUS now being the only player left. And right now, you know, the work is done in their books. All they have to do now is find a way into that next circle, Team Berserk. And hopefully they're able to get themselves some more points on board. But man, REGNUM-X, this is the game that they could not, or well, this is the game where they have to start going up, getting those points up on board. But right now, they're down to just ZEUS to hold down the forts. That is definitely not fun. Definitely not fun or enjoyable for them at the moment. And I really look forward to seeing them at least start to pick up the pieces, start to get better here on the map of Erangel. Because this map is already gone. Again, a lot of teams close to the center of the circle. And that fight again, ZEUS, MORIS, I'm not even surprised to see that they've left Mount Everest. They had to. That is a very strong spot to hold. And if you're a duo, you know that you're just deceiving yourself. So yeah, right now, Mount Everest is currently empty. If you want the real estate, you might want to come for it. But a little bit of trouble in the north here, as we're seeing the side of ZEUS final boss. They're being approached here by Team MVP. And it is looking like a fight that is just waiting to happen. As Team MVP just trying to find a way in. Revenge is in the vicinity. The shots are coming in through from Luffy. And final bosses, Luffy would fall. MVP, do they want to capitalize on this one? The buggy's directions have changed. And they're starting to drive. But this is a very hard compound to push. You have the high sides, but they know how to drive. And here comes Team MVP for the push. Revenge now find himself in the vicinity. The re-knock is found up onto Luffy. Grenades now being prepped. Ruga or make that ruler. He knows exactly where that player is, but sent it towards the wrong direction. But the grenade is very good there from Revenge to get a little bit of damage done. But MVP lose 2 to 1 grenade, and that is not fun. But Luffy would eventually get thirsted. And final boss still remain as a full squad, or make that as a 3-man squad. MVP trying to hold on the 4. They've got just 2. Make that 1 now in Revenge, trying to see if he can seek revenge for his team. But the defense is solid from ZEUS final boss. They lose just 1, but Ruler and Panda are able to send the players there from MVP back into the lobby. 25 points is all they've got in total. They were only able to get the 1 elimination up onto Luffy. And they would go out early in the second Erangel game of the day. Top team still alive. Good to see that one. Team Elite still maintaining their status of being alive as that zone is about to close up once more. Berserk on a very, very, very late rotation. I expected our rotation to have started a little sooner. And that zone does move up north again. And I do not know. I don't think these teams, they know that Mount Everest is as empty as it is. And like you can tell that Team Elite just has PTSD of that spot. That's where they went out that last game. This game, they're like, we'll play everywhere else but Mount Everest. And you love to see that one. That is what I would do too. I know, yes, it does not give courage, but bruh, that manner and style at which they went out, you know, they do not want to deja vu that one until they've got some at least a little bit of practice. They will be going for South Georgia Pole instead. And I believe the players there from ZEUS MORIS will probably just be looking at like, you know what, if we didn't lose players, you know, we would actually be able to hold Mount Everest, which happens to, or which is currently looking like the strongest spots that you can have in that circle. So right now, I'm pretty sure ZEUS MORIS is not feeling too good about that one. And I look forward to seeing how their approach would be for the next game. But then again, next game is on an entirely different map. So you will need a new type of play, a new style of play as well. As RECALCITRANTS find themselves a very nice spot here in South Georgia. But that position being held by Kakao though. If there were to be a team up on Mount Everest, I can see them actually doing damage. And in all honesty, I know people use Mini 14 here and there, but I think we need a sniper buff. I think we need them to buff the snipers a little bit because I need to see the snipers back in action. They need to stop buffing shotguns or even nerfing shotguns. Just make the snipers stronger, you know? I need something like the AWM to be a ground loot. You know? And leave just the new sniper, the APG? I forget the name. Maybe definitely not APG. But yeah, I would actually want some of these snipers to get stronger. I know the Kar98 is not a very strong weapon, but the M24 could get buffed. And if you buff the M24, you know you have no choice but to buff the the Kar98 as well. So I'd really love to see that one come through. But nonetheless, rotations are coming in. I know I'm segueing a lot. My bad. I get distracted. And you can just see the awareness coming in. I promise you, if these teams knew that Mount Everest was empty, they would actually go hold it. And it looks like Team Angry will be that team that is courageous enough to go to the top of Mount Everest here, as they are up there looking to infiltrate slowly but surely. And I like the push coming in through from Team Angry, because Team Angry is like, I don't care if there's a team up here. We are going to push it little by little, and we're going to find our way to the center and hold a very nice split up the top there. Tribe Warriors, we've not really seen them play so well. Today. And then again, they need to be playing well, because right now they're out of they're out of money range. You know, the placement points, or well, the price pool does not touch them at this point anymore. So right now they need to breach into that top 5. They're 2 points away from it. Right now, RRAGE, where are they? They're the only one still currently playing on the edge as we are anticipating and waiting for that next zone shift. And this is the zone shift that sends everyone into chaos. And before it even shifts, we're already starting to see some chaos here at the bottom of Mount Everest. And oof, the zone. That zone is absolutely nasty and it is bonkers. It does go north. Team Elite find themselves in a strong position. RRAGE up on that northern side, but if this zone needs people to pick between one place, where do you go? Do you go to the south or do you go to the north? I hope the zone goes into the water. But yeah, movements now currently being made as Team Angry now relinquishing that spot there of Mount Everest to get into that circle. I think it might be a bit premature, a bit early, because you trying to push into Jojopo that early, especially South Jojopo, may or may not, or most likely wouldn't play out too well for you, because things like this could happen. You could get third party, you could get shut out from outside. That is not too much cover that you can hold, especially given the fact that Team Elite have that player on that very high ground, and I think it's Kakao that is holding that high ground, so that is definitely not fun for them. But Team Angry now starting to dish out trouble onto the side there of 3 Crown Esports, as we now see Switch looking to get things started. Raven looking for ways to find that extra knock, but man, 3 Crown looking to take the damage now towards the side there of Team Elite, and Elite will be the first one down as they lose the one player. And ZEUS, MORIS also finding themselves in the vicinity, but 3 Crown Esports have to get out of Jojopo. It is not safe. The water might be the safest place for you to stay, as Kage now is left as a solo. Imagine making a whole Okage ride bicycle. That is so unfair. You do not do that in the village of the Leaf, but this is not the Leaf. This is Erangel, and these teams are making sure to let 3 Crowns know about that one. But nonetheless, rotations coming in through Team Berserk, completely slamming into South Jojopo like they own the place, and RRAGE are looking for trouble on the north. But Team Angry still holding on the fort, trying to play the cans, trying to play the containers. And I'm hearing now that Jesse is back. Jesse has been fighting, and his fight has not been an Erangel, it's been elsewhere. Jesse, good to have you back. We are down to the final 12 teams in what seems to be a match that is forcing the IGLs to make a very strong and tough decision.
The brains of the IGLs will be working in overtime right now.
Jojopo has to move. Jojopo has to move. Everyone has to move away from Jojopo, and this is where it gets troublesome. Remember, I said it was premature, and I'm pretty sure the side there of Team Angry will be looking for a way to get into the zone. But ZEUS FINALBOSS have got a strong spot, and the same thing can be said about RRAGE. Right now, it's almost looking like the only option to get over to the northern side is by swimming. And Jesse, even swimming to the north is not even ascertained, because the zone could go south.
Yeah, true. And I actually think the zone is going to go north. By the way, it's still tough because there are a lot of teams on the south. Any team trying to swim is going to get shot at. On the north, there are lesser teams. So we're going to see a lot of teams go out very, very soon.
There indeed are lesser teams on the north, but when those lesser teams happens to be ZEUS FINALBOSS and RRAGE, you know that there is going to be a lot of trouble. It will be back and forth shots coming in through from both sides, and Team Elite forced to play quiet because there really isn't much they can do. They have to play from South Jojopo, and South Jojopo right now is really looking like shooting practice. Now on the north, we're getting teams fighting different compounds, and first of the teams that we're seeing here is GAMERIZE looking to take the fight onto the players there from ZEUS FINALBOSS. And man, ZEUS FINALBOSS really cannot afford to get this delay because there is a lot of eliminations that they could potentially get from the South.
I actually do not really like all these apartment fights. They always lead to camping. They are just somehow.
Well,
a lot of utilities are going to be used here. You can see Senior sneaking up. I'm not even sure GAMERIZE. No, there's another team here. They're trying to take out his final boss, and then Senior is just chilling.
Big chilling, in fact, because there's only so much you can do. But then again, if I were to be GAMERIZE, I would go for a sweep on that map. But speaking of sweep, the side there, the South needs to be cleared, and Team Elite realizing that they need to do that so well. They've got vehicles, but remember, the last angle, vehicles were the cause of people's demise. You cannot continue to do that one as Team Elite realize that one the hard way. And this is what I was saying, teams on this other side, it's free shooting practice, and Jesse, the zone goes south.
Bro, I actually didn't see this one coming. I was expecting this one was going to go north.
Well, this is
man, you have to love this game.
As movements now coming in through, GAMERIZE eventually able to clean out the side there of ZEUS final boss, and RECALCITRANTS Elites continue to wreak havoc on the South. 3 Crown Esports have got their one solo there, but Knockouts would be the one to fall first. As the players there from Team Elite have said, you know what, head start is over. Now we are about to climb up the top, but right now there's not too many places they can play. They would have to leave with these compounds, Jesse.
Bro, I was expecting the South to get decongested if the circle shifts out, but circle said no, and I'm eager to see how RAGE ESPORTS is going to play though. They can still try to get more. They are already doing that. RAGE ESPORTS need to try to get another win. They really to try to give a lead. But then Elite also alive with a full team.
Indeed they are, and the Faithkeep is successful here from RRAGE as they're able to increase that elimination count. Tribe Warriors will be next to 4. The zone goes to no man's land, and everyone on the north has to swim down to the south. And Simple from Team Elite looking to make it into the circle. And you have to admire the way Team Elite are playing this one. They've got their vehicles and they're using those vehicles as cover, but the question is just for how long. How long can they hold behind those vehicles, as now we're down to the final 4 teams?
Bro, in a few seconds you lost how many teams just because of the congestion? RAGE ESPORTS still a full team. Team Elite still a full team. Team BERSERK is solo, and REGNUM-X is, I think this is basically a battle for first and second.
This is indeed.
And then you have a Kakao taking shots onto Palabala, gets a beautiful knock on Palabala. Goblin from Team BERSERK backstabbing Elite, and he has been shot up.
And indeed he has been. RRAGE down by 1, but they cannot stop. They need to get into the circle, and the smokes would be the source of protection for them. And you can tell that RECALCITRANTS know that they have this on the platter as they're trying to watch the movements. They're like, even if you swim across, you cannot climb up without us noticing. And what is the play here that comes through from RRAGE? They've got SZ. Wait, they've got SZQ close. Palabala is going to fall first, but SZQ, he has to open up the port there for the rest of the team. Palabala's knock might just be good, but Zenos is still in the water, and here comes SZQ to pick his head up, but Kakao is not even going to let him breathe. As he gets that knock, Milio falls as well. Pew Pew still in the water, and all Team Elites can look at is fishes in the water as Kakao looking for more. Zenos goes to stand up though to try to see if he can play third party. Pew Pew cannot do too much as he's in the water and he cannot stand, but Zenos would be his savior there. Pew Pew, he's noticed it. He's seen that airdrop and he knows Kakao is down and he's gonna have to go up to get that knock. But Zenos now getting heavily battered by grenades. Oh, Zenos, I love the way you're playing, trying to see if he can get himself that knock or elimination, but he cannot just yet. And Team Elite find themselves in a very, very tricky situation here, Jesse, as Zenos finds Pew Pew down. Now Zenos trying to see if he can hold on a 1v1 for Team REGNUM-X, who are down on the bottom of the table. One knock is found there, and ZEUS is holding on the fourth, and now it is nade for nade. But Zimple has got lesser time, sends it towards the side, but the damage is not done. Comes to jump in, and we'll find the REGNUM-X will not boost off of a chicken dinner, as Team Elite say enough is enough. We are back for the #1 spot. 12 eliminations and a chicken dinner here at ZEUS.
Bro, this just shows how professional this team is. With how congested the containers at George Pool were at, where you wouldn't really expect them to make it out with a full team. They made it out with a full team. They're going head to head with RAGE ESPORTS. With the help of Xenos Goat from REGNUM-X Esports, they were able to take out RAGE ESPORTS. And then Xenos Goat very close there, but not enough. Simple said no.
Indeed, he said no. And in all honesty, if there's one question I have to ask the players here from Team Elite, how many smokes did you have? Because they played so well with the smokes. That definitely played out so well for them. I really enjoyed the way they played that one. They were on the south. It did seem like they were backed by pretty much everything. They didn't have anything in their favor, but they worked with their vehicles and the smokes, and eventually they were able to grab themselves a chicken dinner on this map. Again, 60 eliminations here in the map here of Erangel, 6100 in terms of healing. We saw a lot of fights come through, and there were some mid-range ones, and you know, when you see mid-range fights, you have to see some grenades. 6 coming in through with 39 assists, 1 vehicle run over, and 58 knocks coming in through from this second match of Erangel. And it really was an interesting game to watch. It started off tricky, and man, I think it was tricky from the beginning to the end. I mean, the first circle, we had too much water, and then the next couple circles, we had to make a decision between north and south. And it's safe to say Jesse would have gotten cooked if he was in this lobby because he played north.
Bro, how did I get into this equation now? Like, I don't know how I made it to this conversation. But anyway, for real. Let me just let you continue with your charade. Head to head. Elite and Rage did almost everything equally.
I tell you, it looks very
except for the
similar,
eliminations.
almost carbon copy. Really, almost carbon copy. We've got almost the same number of damage, and this is pretty much the most even head-to-head that we've seen so far. I love to see that one, as Team Elites did put their number, and Simple said enough is enough. I need to find my way to those top members, and that was leaderboards for the top players, and he was able to grab himself 6 eliminations so far, 550, not as much as we saw from the last game in terms of MVP, but nonetheless he has put in the work. And for a team again that was on the south, as I kept on saying, everyone on the south has to move, but the only space they can play with is pretty much open field, so they will be shooting practice. And in a game where they were going to be shooting practice, they brought in their vehicles to play cover for them and played with their smokes as well. It really was a way to play this game, and I enjoyed what I saw from Team Elite.
You know, with how calm Simple looks in this his photo, you don't really expect him to become an MVP in the match. He looks too calm to be this aggressive.
Definitely it's not written in the face. Cacao getting himself 4 eliminations as well in this one. He had a very strong position that he was holding there in Jojopo, and that played out well for him. 4 eliminations, 580 damage. RRAGE Pew Pew was absolutely on fire with the third parties and the gatekeep, especially onto those teams on the north. And REGNUM-X, Xenos Goats, trying to see if he can restore a little bit of momentum for the team on the bottom of the table, bottom of the leaderboards, with 3 eliminations, 66 damage. That man, you know, he sold his soul already. And then it's going to be FINALBOSS's Panda to find himself as the 5th MVP of the match. But in terms of points, 22 points, I think that is definitely enough for Team Elite to skyrocket themselves to the top of the leaderboards, Jesse.
Yeah, although RAGE ESPORTS had 15 points as well, I think RAGE ESPORTS should still be first though. But Elite has closed the gap.
And indeed they have. And REGNUM-X getting more points than they've gotten from yesterday and today combined in one game. Love to see that one as they find themselves 9 points up on board. Tribe Warriors putting up little by little points, but when you have ZEUS MORIS also doing that, your position starts to be threatened. 3 Crown Esports not quite able to find a footing in this one. 5 points that they were able to accrue, and this was a very top-heavy game. It really, as you said at the end, it really was a battle for first place and second place, and you did know that for Team Elite, the instance they took out Knockout Esports, I felt like they had that momentum and they knew that this game is one game that we have to go home winning.
Yeah, true. Knockout Esports just 1 point. Yeah, quite falling off. But then there's Miramar. We'll see how they'll do. Our top players, Mangi, has been able to just add 1 elimination to all the eliminations he had yesterday.
Hey, but the damage numbers are going high as he's able to get himself some more on that one. His elimination to match ratio is absolutely bonkers, 2.88 out here with 6 assists also coming in through. Messiah still holding his end here. Jinaza still here in that top player list, and once again, well, as I said earlier, Kakao, from that last game, you could tell that he wants to be up here. He was here in the gauntlet stage, and he's doing that once more. And RRAGE successfully become the first team to breach into 100 points after 8 matches.
Courtesy of 3 chicken dinners and a lot of top 3s. They have 50 placement points and 3 matches won, which is 30 points from wins. The rest, say top 2, top 3 and all that. They're trying their best to stay first, but Elite is just 5 points behind, and we'll see how they'll do in Miramar.
Really see how well they would hold up in Miramar. But then I'm starting to look at the other side of the table. Tribe Warriors, Mad Monkeys starting to drop down and down on the leaderboard. They would have to lock in for the final 2 games, and hopefully they are strong on the map here of Miramar. REGNUM-X got themselves 9 points, but still not breaching into the 20s, so they still remain in 16th position. But hopefully that game would give them a little bit of momentum, a little bit of vibe, a little bit of energy going into the next couple games. GAMERIZE have also been dropping out of that top 8. ZEUS FINALBOSS, they've been left alone by their brothers as they are sitting down alone here in 10th position. Team Angry, Team Unique. I didn't speak about Team Unique in that last game. In all honesty, Team Unique is way too all over the place to still be in 12th position. I would expect to see them, bump up a little bit more here, Jesse. But nonetheless, it was one heck of a game, and that would be the end of the Miramars, make that the Erangel for today, as we will now start looking to get into the Erang chat. We are going into Miramar, so do not go anywhere. We'll be right back with more PUBG Mobile action.
Welcome to the Pioneer edition of the 10NET Campus Game Fest 2025, and we are live at the University of Ibadan. Game on. Hi, this is Precious. So I'm at Game Fest, and this is my first time coming to Game Fest, and I've been loving it so far. My favorite game of today is Just Dance.
My name is Osaz. I won the FC25 tournament. But it was a very tough tournament, especially the first game. I went to penalties after extra time.
Is Kamala Ferrina. I participated in today's tournament in 10 and 80 and Monster tournament, and I was the winner for Free Fire.
My name is Israel. I won the F1 sim racing competition that was held here.
Hello, my name is Olale, and I won Street Fighter 6.
I participated in the Just Dance game and I've been moving my body. And yes, Game Fest, I would like for you to come back to UI bigger and better.
Mission. The match is about to start.
All right, ladies and gentlemen. Ladies and gentlemen, we're active, we're big chilling, and we are ready for match number 9 here at La Coupe de Africana Season 3. We are in the grand finals. This is day 2. This is map 8. This is map 9. I can't tell you everything, but the next voice you're about to hear is that of Jesse's, as he's about to tell us how he's feeling going into the first Miramar game of the night.
Bro, this map, match 9, map 1 of Miramar is reminding me of match 2, map 1 of Erangel. I don't know why I keep on mixing those words. The flight path is just on one aspect of the map, and teams are going to start struggling.
Oh, yeah, it's gonna be a huge struggle here in the map of Miramar. It's gonna be a huge struggle.
Good change of environment, screens, crowns. What am I saying, my lord? Change of environment. The desert map is here. Yeah, crowns. I feel good.
We saw we saw that shift come through from the teams when we had to shift from Rondo to Erangel, where the first Erangel game was just as chaotic as it could get. The zone would only be nice if it goes south, but I wanted to go north. But as I was saying, now that we're switching from Erangel to Miramar, I want to see what the swap is like amongst the teams in the lobby. How well are they able to switch from seeing all greens to now just seeing bland desert islands? You are a player yourself. How easy or how tricky is that switch when you have to swap from playing Erangel a lot, or playing 2 back-to-back Erangel games and then going into Miramar?
Well, change is constant, and one thing that makes a professional player professional is being able to adapt. So switching from one map to another is just going to affect players that aren't professional enough, or players that don't practice enough.
Fair. That does make sense. Change really is constant, and again, as he said there, your ability to adapt, your ability to stay flexible, really, not just physically, and also not just physically, but also in the game as well. That is something that definitely will play well for you. But anyway, it does look like we are back in the race now for top 1. Woo! We're back in the race now for top 1 between RRAGE and Team Elite, and now this is where we're gonna see what truly wins this tournament, because it looks like RRAGE are going for the slow and steady consistency way, and it looks like Team Elite are going for the all-out aggression. We just want to take everybody else and look very, very strong as we do that. Because in all honesty, with respect to fragging prowess, I don't think I see RRAGE being as strong as Team Elite, but hey, who knows? Maybe we'll get a 4v4 and then they'll prove me wrong.
It would be hard for us to get a 4v4 right now, though, because this MORIS has already made it hard for REGE ESPORTS to live up to that potential, taking out a player early on from REGE ESPORTS.
Then we'll see how well they hold it. But anyway, the zone did not seem to answer us. I guess. Every single time I say I want that zone to go the opposite direction, it does the opposite. But anyway, right now, we do have that.
No wonder I don't like predicting teams that will win.
Yeah, now you see why. You want to set me up.
Bro, it's a skill issue. It's a skill issue.
I would take that skill show all day, any day, man. God damn. But nonetheless, everyone else now again, this is another map where everybody, another zone where another zone, my bad, that has forced everyone to really be in the center of the circle, or pretty much somewhere in the circle, at least from the start of the game. So I'm trying to see how well these teams will hold it. Some teams that like, oh well, I almost want to say some teams that like to play on the edge, but seeing how that last Erangel game went, it's interesting to see how the approach would be here for Miramar. I want to see what everyone's first rotations does look like.
You know, Crowns, in Rondo, one could say you can't really avoid a hot drop because a lot of teams try to play to get early eliminations. But it seems like Team MVP, even if they can avoid a hot drop in Erangel, you just can't avoid it in Miramar.
Yep, and them not avoiding it is not playing out well for them. They've lost Shadow for the moment, or well, for the time being, actually for the game. They've lost Shadow, and now they have to hold on with a 3-man squad. And again, in the map of Miramar, it gets very tricky when your hot drop that your drop spots that you're fighting for is in the circle. Because for what it's worth, I think these fights would last for the next 3 circles, provided this part. Man, where are they? Okay, maybe for like the next couple of views. Oh wait, they're outside. They're not the ones inside. Okay, yeah, but it's going to last for a little longer because really teams don't be fighting it out here in Miramar. But then again, we're starting to see a little bit of prowess coming from MVP.
Beautiful knock from Push on onto our final boss. And sadly, Push has gotten traded by Luffy. Final boss do not want to lose any player, and it seems like they are taking the charge onto Team MVP. Augie has to hold while his teammate tries to regroup. This is Final boss trying to get that revive. Will they be able to? No, this fight was looking very, very. Yeah, it looked like MVP was going to be able to turn things around, but that trade-off onto Push on is going to make it way harder.
And right now, MVP have to play this one carefully. Patience is the name of the game. We established that one in Erangel. But right now, that sensitivity might be moving a little too fast here for revenge. Revives need to come through. Potion needs to get revived. And I think Orgy or Orge can play a little bit of distraction while that is being processed. I would love to see a little bit more proactivity coming in through from ZEUS final boss, but right now they're playing it very conservative, and I think that's what really separates them from ZEUS MORIS, because ZEUS MORIS happens to be that team who would want to take the fight, even though they've lost to, who would want to take the fight, but final boss seems to want to relax, take things relatively slowly. But then we've seen that work in the first 2 Erangel games. I won't be surprised if it works here as well.
Yeah, true. See, ZEUS MORIS came into the game with a trio. They lost Faker, and they're up to 5 eliminations already. Whereas this final boss has been in El Azahar with Team MVP, and this fight has been prolonged.
It's Miramar. They're still in zone 1. They have the time. I'm not even expecting any of them to even leave, and this is what tires me, because right now it's a little bit of a stalemate between both teams. Right? Do you want to fight it? Do you not want to fight it? You know, right now both teams. If I'm Team MVP, I'm backing out of this fight. They do not have the meds, but they have the medium to leave. They've got a lot of space on their end as compared to the side there of final boss.
Yeah, very true. Well, it seems like they still want to take the fight. I think that is smoke coming out for Augie to try to retreat. It seems like he still wants to be here. Yeah, they actually have to.
But it does look like we've got fights in other parts of the map. Tribe Warriors still having a tough time in this one, and Mad Monkeys going on their notorious and well-known early engagement. This time is going to our REGNUM-X. Man, you guys,
REGNUM-X,
we're supposed to work off of the last game.
You're not really feeling good, I'm sure.
Nah, you cannot. You definitely aren't feeling good after that one. Just it did look like they had a little bit of a chance to attack or even get back into into the finals. But right now, getting shut down by Mad Monkeys doesn't work, doesn't play well for you. But if you're looking at the bottom left or bottom right of your screen, you are looking at the fights between Tribe Warriors and pretty much the fight that's going up on the north. And at the same time, MVP and Final Boss are just trading bullets. Are they going to fight? It looks like now they will, as Revenge is able to find the first knock, but not able to quite get the thirst. And there's the thirst finally. Very low on HP, both teams forced to push. At the same time, forced to hold. Not too much HP bars to hold on the forts, but Team MVP needs to make up their mind and they need to make a move pronto.
Yeah, the blue zone is here, so they do not have time anymore. I think this final boss is playing way too safe for a team that got the initial knock contest. There you go.
And now they've lost
out.
Ooh. And now they've lost even more players because of that passiveness that is coming through from them. But anyway, Revenge with a little bit of panic shots coming in through from the side. He understands he cannot push outside. Tries to see if he can get the one knock, but he would fall instead. And Team MVP eventually gets sent back into the lobby. ZEUS final boss remain alive in this one, but it's going to be sad because the boxes the players they just took out do not have meds. So they are going to have to start searching for meds so they can heal up. And I hope that they are able to make it into the zone with their HPs.
Yeah, if they can get bandages, then they're able to make it into the circle. Else they'll start dropping like flies to the blue zone. We have REACH from Team BERSERK taking shots onto Mitra from Tribe Warriors. Mitra not backing down, he's just zooming away. Team BERSERK hasn't really been playing too well in these finals.
Wait, Jesse. If it were to be you, will you stop?
Bro, if it were to be me, if it were to be me, I would have stepped on the accelerates way faster than Mitra.
The JP card. But anyway, Zone moves all the way to the west. And now Trouble looking to loom on other parts of the map. Actually make that on the east, as we've seen ZEUS MORIS now taking the fight against the players there from Mad Monkeys. Mad Monkeys already have one player down. That's a very good nade from Conan Boy. It lands on the money. And Klaus, my bad, falls down short. Conan Boy caught with the grenade in the hand. He's going to get instantly thirsted. Rush scored. Trying to see if he can pull one back. And he will. Goes for the instant thirst as well, because it says 2 can play that game. For the third party looking to come in now. They want a little bit of trouble. It's Team Elite as they're pulling in behind the side there of the Mad Monkeys. Grenades flying towards Rush God's position. And now he's hoping that they focus on each other and leave him alone. That heal, they would hear. They're going for the push there, Team Elite. And they continue Edward looking for angles. Not quite able to find any just yet. Amar holding down the fort as Team Mad Monkeys were able to grab themselves at least one more knock. One revive back up. And it's still a 3-way fight here.
I think this
I
has
wonder how
been
you
a
played
miscalculated. Yeah, this has been a miscalculated third party from Elite because they rolled up, they've lost Simple and Cacao. They're just down to Mangi and Edward. One elimination secured for Edward. ZEUS MORIS sent back to the lobby. Wow, this team knows how to use their nades.
Indeed, they do. And if you're wondering why those elimination numbers are going higher, you know who to blame. But it's going to be another third party. As knockouts, it is almost all the top teams in one position. Knockouts now are in the vicinity. Molotovs coming out, grenades flying, and Edward barely able to dodge, barely able to avoid. Mad Monkeys are trying to stay quiet, because they do not want to get caught up in this one. They do not want to be the ones on the losing end. And it is how do you play it? As you said, Jesse, it might have just been a miscalculation here from Team Elite, who have already lost 2 in this engagement.
I think Knockout Esports have been reading the kill feed, because for them to roll up this way, it has to be well planned. Mad Monkeys, they've been able to survive far longer than ZEUS MORIS. 3 players up, very capable of doing something here. But with Knockout Esports in the mix, change the whole dynamics of this fight.
Honcho, though, is able to find his way outside. He might just be able to use that as an escape, because in all honesty, if I am Mad Monkeys, seeing that they've not had too much luck in their early engagement so far today, if you get that opening to leave, I would say to leave, because right now you've got 3 teams in the vicinity and it was 5 just like 2 minutes ago. So right now you're gonna have to really stay tuned and stay connected. But everyone, they need to go for that quick pick to find that first knock. And it's safe to say that Knockouts Esports were not happy about that one as they pushed in for that support. You love to see that one now. And Mangi just sending grenades downstairs, trying to see if he can stop it and prevent it. But it gets very hard to push, especially given the fact that there is heavy third party in this engagement.
Knockout Esports able to get a revive up, and Elite struggling. He's going to want to go for this test, and he has been shot down. I think this is where Mad Monkeys need to get more aggressive and pull up. One knockout for Knockout Esports. How will Mad Monkeys play here? Elite, unfortunately, sent back to the lobby with just one elimination.
Indeed they were. And the question remains, how do they hold on? What does Mad Monkeys do here? Wada does need to be revived, and it does look like he's being tended to. But Mad Monkeys now looking to go in for the push. And here comes Amar, first in line. Klaus, just right beside him. Noncho now getting some nade damage being done. It's going to be hard to push upstairs. But then again, this is a spot that is kind of looking like they waste more time here. They will get the party.
Well, it's been third party after third party. And Mad Monkeys still surviving. Love to see it.
Indeed they are. We do love to see it. And right now there is a mix, but there is high grounds in here. It makes things very hard. Amar, stop it! He's busy. He goes for the instant first as well. Tries to see if he can do a little bit more. But his teammates are there for the support. You love to see that one. Klaus does fall in response. And Ade would also have to grab their revives now. I think the players here from Knockouts can actually play this a little bit more aggro. They have the numbers advantage.
Yeah, I'm not sure what 3 points was doing though. Getting knocked out there was very unnecessary. Knockout to the push right now. And Mad Monkeys have been sent back to the lobby. I think if they did this sooner, they wouldn't have lost 3 points.
I'm telling you, they had no reason. They had to play that a little bit more aggro. But man, we do have to say this is yet another game where the early engagement has not been in the favor there of Mad Monkeys. I'm afraid to say it, but they might be dropping more on the table after this game, because it does look like GAMERIZE are still alive. That's the are still alive as well. And they threatening that by Mad Monkeys.
Bro, and you can see Slater taking shots onto FORKILL, eliminating Fargas there. They want to step up. They pretty much ready to feed and seeing that Mad Monkeys have been sent packing. You need to do a very good game there to make it anywhere close to 6th place. 5 Warriors in the game, a full team, 2 eliminations found already. REGE Sports, the team that benefits the most from Elite being sent out to the lobby at this time in the game.
I really have to mention the inconsistency there coming in through from Team Elite.
RAGE, right?
We just not even RAGE. Our RAGE have been consistent, right? But Elite, on the other hand, hasn't really been consistent. They did win that last game, but off of winning the game, coming into this game, misreading a third party, it almost just feels like you kind of let it get into their head. Because for what it's worth, they pushed into that fight in stage 2, very early in the game. The fight wasn't done and they just pushed up onto it. If it worked, I probably wouldn't be saying this, but then again, it doesn't seem like they've really gotten their fingers really warmed up going into today's games.
Yeah, true. Now they've been sent back to the lobby with just 1 elimination, 98 points. Not yet able to get to the 100 points margin.
It's like they just didn't go out to any other team. They went out to, Knockout as well. So it's like it starts to get relatively tricky. But nonetheless, it almost looks like every team on the that's currently alive does have themselves eliminations. Yet again, Jesse, we find ourselves in another situation where we're still in stage 3 and we have just 9 teams left. I wonder what is happening. Are we starting to see? I think we're starting to see fatigue here from the players, no?
Yeah, that is true. A lot of fights going on very early. I think that's why we're having lesser teams in stage 3.
Because
This is
really,
final
having to play
boss.
5 games, because having to play 5 games, you need that mental fortitude, right? You need to have that strength to play all of those games. And again, this is game four out of 5 for today. It's quite understandable to see that these teams are making some mistakes here and they're starting to play a little bit iffy or jiffy, if that's the word, where we're seeing them take those early engagements that we normally wouldn't see. When I'm saying this, I don't mean mad monkeys. Not even thinking about them at all. But with respect to the rest of the teams, like we're seeing them take more early engagements, and this is only happening as we're approaching the final 2 games of the evening.
Yep. And we see the circle, pretty south and only GAMERIZE esports in the circle. RUTHLESS esports.
This is a very
Not
dangerous
anywhere
shift.
close.
This is a very
Esports
dangerous
just a
circle.
duo. Yeah.
A very dangerous circle because it's down to the south. We're seeing GAMERIZE hold a very high ground there, but man, it's a choice between do you want to stay in Chumasera or do you want to stay on the high ground? But then again, I'm seeing teams already go for that early move into Chumasera, but it's gonna be a little bit hard, especially given the high ground that is just on the outskirts. But holding the high grounds early, if that zone doesn't favor those high grounds, you might eventually have to find your way into Chumasera, and that will be very hard to do, especially given the fact that now we've got about 3 teams who are already in Chumasera.
Make that 4 teams. And RRAGE esports is one of them. RRAGE esports doing everything possible to stay away from the edge. They need to survive longer. They just took out 1 player from Team BERSEK, make that 2 players trying to get the eliminations up. GS and Melio able to pick up 1 elimination each from Team BERSEK. Team BERSEK will be feeling good about that.
And for a team that has been looking to survive, try to make it into the final phases of the circle, again, I do not know if it is that fatigue that is coming in, but RRAGE, we've not really seen them keep all their players alive for so long. Like we already start to see them lose 1 early on in the games, and fine, they're able to still hold down the force with the remaining 3, but they're gonna need to start to step it up more because look, just 1 chicken dinner and look how close that brought Elite to them. I mean, they had a 9 points lead before that game, and coming out of that game just off of 1 chicken dinner, the lead reduced to just 5, or was it even just to just about 5? So it's like you cannot slack. You need to get those points up on board.
Yeah, true. I think they don't always have a lot of eliminations, but they try to balance it out. That's the good thing I've noticed from REGE esports. Toga, beautiful spray onto Panda final boss. That just goes to show that Toga wins those.
Yep. Zone does move once more, and it goes down to the southeast this time. Knockout squad, courtesy of that compound, are still alive, and Knockout esports are holding it up on that northeast. But before I speak too much about that, we've got RRAGE in a little bit of trouble on their own. They've had to ward off 2 teams from this compound. They're doing well so far, but in the background, 3 Crown looking to suffer up on the north with the side there of Tribe Warriors.
Yep. FINALBOSS able to get into the circle as well. Ara has lost a lot of comrades in the game. We're down to 9 teams, 24 players alive, and we are 23 minutes into this game. And chat, let us know which team you're rooting for.
And his own did not even pick Chumasera or the high grounds of Chumasera. It's gone down towards the south. So that's going to be troublesome. And what an aid to send the side there of FORKILL back and out into the lobby. But anyway, shots now being fired as the high ground being held by GAMERIZE, starting to play out well for them. 4 eliminations so far. but they need to keep following that Southern Eye line to find their way into the next circle. Tribe Warriors also finding their way into the circle from the north. Same thing can be said about RRAGE. 3 Crown Esports tending to the injured, and they will have to start their rotation very late. And Ruthless Esports going wide to see if they can find a way in from that eastern edge.
8 teams remaining. Placement point starts counting right about now. 22 players up. Few people taking shots onto Tribe Warriors. Doesn't seem like Tribe Warriors will be making it out of this league. They already have one player knocked out. People just did too much. Ara has told him, it's okay. It's okay. Watch your teammates. You've done too much.
Well, the third party is imminent. Melio still trying to.
Yeah, Melio
third
trying
party
to
is
copy what his
imminent.
teammates started.
We're about to get yet another zone shift. This time, all high grounds have been taken out of the equation. We're down to the floor. There's one compound to hold, but I do not know about the window situation and the breachability of the compound. But out here on the edges and on the outskirts, there is trouble. Up on the north of Chumasera, we've got the side there of RRAGE looking to clear and sweep out teams that are on the edge as they look for their way in.
February sent out in 8th place. Not the game they wanted. Our final boss is solo, but not backing down. Check on his spots. Trio. Smart play from Ara there, closing the door.
Definitely.
They did it again.
Close it. Ooh, damage is done. And final boss. Take that Ara, trying to see if he can hold down the fort. No is the answer. How many falls? 3 Crown remain alive. They've got 3 players, and once again, they've lost Kage early on in this one, but there isn't too many players in place in the circle. 3 Crown happen to be holding one, and they're starting to let the shots fly. I've got my eyes on GAMERIZE. They have the numbers, but they do not have the position. How do they make it into this tough circle? They might just have to push on to that southern position being held by Knockout Esports.
Knockout Esports. Just waiting patiently. I think they're not trying to do too much. They really want to play to win this game.
They have
going to work out for them.
They know what is at stake. 79 points that they've gotten so far. They've got 5 more courtesy of this game. So you know that they want to balance that up with placement points, but not when Ruthless Esports and GAMERIZE have got all eyes on you. They lose one, and that numbers advantage suddenly out of the equation there for them. And everyone not quite able to make too many moves as that zone is starting to get very, very clustered up. Knockout Esports looking for damage, but cannot do too much as Dark Cini does fall. And that thirst looking to be processed relatively quickly with Jinaza now being the last player left for Knockout Squad. You blink and you miss it.
From 3, they fumbled to just Jinaza. But Jinaza, a fine player, very capable to come in clutch. Will they allow him though? We're down to 6 teams, 13 players alive. GAMERIZE, the only team with a full squad. They're not backing down. They're taking their shots on the way to Team BERSEK.
And they are holding up just nicely. We see them chilling, but right now that first knock is coming in through, and I like the play coming in through from them. Oh wait, maybe not actually, because I was gonna say they're staying there knowing that they cannot get pushed if they find if they get knocked. But it does look like players there from 3 Crown Esports need to find a way into that circle. They need to find a way in. They did have that first knock off onto GAMERIZE, and I thought they would capitalize onto it, but it doesn't look like they've got that in plan. They had to take out the players there from RRAGE first, and now we're down to the final 3.
GAMERIZE Esports is chicken dinner though. 3 Crown Esports.
Woo! Third party now looking to come in. Legacy holding down his fort as he's able to find out one knock. But Ruthless Esports coming in from the side, not quite able to put in a lot of work as they're losing a lot of HP bars. And the players there from GAMERIZE take their eyes off of it. They need to take out 3 Crown Esports, and 3 Crown down to 1. Are they aware? That's the question in mind. As shots continue to fly towards the smoke. Lights trying to see if he can hold on the forts. And GAMERIZE thinking a whole lot as to whether they want to grab that revive yet or not.
I think GAMERIZE is playing very well, though. Sadly, they can't get a revive anymore. Senior has stopped Slater, taking him back to the lobby. We're down to our final 5 players, 3 teams. And GRM keep losing players from a full team to a trio to a duo, and now a solo.
Well, and speaking of solos, that solo there from 3 Crown cannot do any more than he's done. But oh, this solo from GAMERIZE does seem to have his hands on the money. Revive does seem to be what is being rest now, as Legacy understands that he's gotten that knock. Looking through for the push, trying to prevent that rest from coming in through. The shots are coming in through from the S12K, and it works out well. And GAMERIZE, maybe not as clean as you would have wanted them to do it, but a win definitely is a win. And when you put 11 eliminations by it, it becomes a very good win as GAMERIZE start their campaign to the top of the leaderboards.
Legacy coming in clutch for his team. A well-deserved chicken dinner. GG to all the players from GRL. RUTHLESS Esports fought till the end, but they just didn't do it.
Just were not able to come in clutch at the end there, but nonetheless it was good play, good gameplay coming in through from them. 11 eliminations, 2200 damage to come alongside it as well. You love to see that one, with eliminations being spread evenly, almost evenly around the team. Dogger with 4, Yamal with 2, Legacy with 3, and Slater getting 2 more eliminations. Slater is the only player there from the team that is on that MVP board, and putting 2 more on there definitely would continue to help his campaign up on the tops of those top players. But man, what a way that they played this game. We did speak about the rotations that they had and how they played that game. We saw them going in from high ground to high ground, decided to go south. Unfortunately, in those final circles, it started to get overwhelming, but thankfully to Legacy, they were able to grab themselves that win here in the first Miramar map of the day.
Love to see it. 62,000 eliminations. Wow. Seems really cooked in this Miramar. Head to head, we have GAMERIZE Esports having almost 2x of the damage 3 Crown Esports had. 10 knocks more than what 3 Crown Esports had. That's a lot. And out of the 13 knocks they had, they were able to convert 11 to eliminations. That's quite good, Crowns, if you ask me.
I mean, in a lobby where eliminations were getting stolen left, right, and center, you are definitely doing a very good knock to elimination ratio there. But you just love to see that one. 21 points being gathered there by GAMERIZE, and 3 Crown Esports going out with 11. We did see 3 Crown Esports also go out relatively early. I was enjoying their rotation up onto the points where they had to take that fight. I really expected that they would have pushed up onto GAMERIZE, but unfortunately they did not. They chose to take that fight with RRAGE's solo instead, and that eventually cost them what might have just been a very nice chicken dinner. But nonetheless, MVP does come through from them. The last surviving teammate from 3 Crown Esports, it was Light with 4 eliminations and more damage than we've seen from any other MVP in tonight's games.
That's a fact. 821 damage, and he was able to get just 4 eliminations. This guy was really shooting everything on sight.
Indeed it was. No assist coming in through though. But man, Torga from GAMERIZE gets himself 4. Ara from FINALBOSS, and that's his FINALBOSS, gets himself 3 eliminations. Fortunately, or unfortunately, my bad, unable to hold it up against that full squad of 3 Crown Esports. Eventually did get taken out. RRAGE, Melio making it in here for them, and Legacy. Talk about clutch factor from that player as he was able to clutch that 1v2 to get his team the winner chicken dinner. It only makes sense for him to make it up to this list.
Yep.
And anyway, we keep going. Map stand. Take it away.
All right, we have GAMERIZE Esports, 21 points gained in just this game. Curious to see how high they would have climbed in that leaderboard. They have almost 2x the points Trickdown Esports and Ruthless Esports have. RAGE Esports able to still do 10 points in this game, so it's safe to say they will still be in first. Knockout Esports, despite their third party, not really able to do a lot of points. And then we still have REGNUM-X Esports, not really doing anything at all.
Yeah, really, and that's not playing out well for them. Team Unique, I did also mention that they're starting to struggle a little bit in the lobby. I did see them getting points, but unfortunately, they've still not been able to breach into double-digit numbers here in terms of points that they're able to grab from the game. They're going home with donuts this one. RECALCITRANTS, another game where we're not seeing that consistency. It's been a little bit of a yo-yo coming through from them. We see them do good in one game, do bad in the next game. Manji still holding up based off of a very strong performance from yesterday as number one on the overall top leaderboards, but Messiah starting to draw closer. Same thing can be said about Gina and Slater. As I did say earlier, 2 more eliminations that he was able to put up on board definitely keeps him still part of the overall top players of the finals at the moment.
Yep. Overall standings, we still have RAGE Esports first, 112 points. Not a huge gap. Elite still in second, and Knockout Esports not able to make it to the second spot just yet. One more Miramar to play. We'll see how this team should be able to climb or drop in the leaderboard. Esports, though, that chicken dinner really boosted them in 5th place. And I think they are going to want to do far more in the next Miramar.
Yeah, and so far so good. We've just seen that one chicken dinner can actually do a lot. We did say it's GAMERIZE in that last game. Now they're starting to drop down on the leaderboard, right? And then they did exactly what they needed to do. If that is your trajectory of the day, you want to make sure that you're getting those eliminations, getting those points, and the chicken dinner makes it even better. I spoke earlier, Mad Monkeys are starting to drop. And now it is not even surprising to see that now they have dropped onto the bottom parts of the leaderboard. Now they are in the bottom 9. They would have to lock in order to get themselves on a strong footing into the next game. But that being said, that is the first Miramar game of the day done and dusted. We have one more, which would also be the last game of the day. So do not go anywhere, as we'll be right back with more La Coupe d'Africaine action.
Okay. We outside for match 10. So just joining us, this is La Coupe d'Africana season 3. This is the grand finals, and today happens to be the second day. We have the best flight path any team could ask for in Miramar. A fairly decent flight path, starting all the way from Campo Militar, passing through La Drilera, and ending just north of Balbema.
Can't lie.
You guys to see how the teams are going to be playing this Miramar. Crowns, how are you feeling about this flight path?
Well, first of all, I feel bad. Can't lie, because you said we have the best. I thought he was going to say we have the best commentator in the house, but I guess it's just the playing path. But nonetheless, man, Miramar final game of the night before we head into the final day of the tournament. It is definitely the story writing itself. Playing path does look relatively nice. I look forward to seeing how these teams will play this one. Listen, forces you to learn differently, and now we're going to start to see those battles for those hot drops, as we can see. I believe there is what other actually, maybe not, but nonetheless, it's a better playing path, as Jesse's just said, and I look forward to seeing how the rest of this game would progress. Zone, go. Where do you want the zone to go this time? North?
I think I prefer if it just stays centered. These teams have been through a lot already. They don't deserve to suffer anymore.
Nah, it's the finals, bro. You need to show that you're the toughest of the toughest. Just a little more south, like just go south. But it's an eastern zone or an eastern circle this time. Does favor a lot of these teams. So Jesse, I guess you know how to talk to the PUBG Mobile gods. Next time, tell them that we want a Miramar zone that ends on those little islands just on the outskirts of Impala. Love to see that one.
We or you?
Don't worry. I speak for the collective. For the collective PUBG Mobile, both fans and players, that we want a zone that goes down to the south. I'd like to see one of those water zones. In a minute.
I don't know how I feel about landing at Picado though. It's time to count a lot here. But anyway, let me sound like you a little bit. Tony getting the first blood on Rush God from ZEUS MORIS.
And I was about to mistake the ZEUSes, but this is a different ZEUS, right? ZEUS MORIS, we've seen them start today very well, but closing out today is not looking, or they're not looking as strong as they did in those early games. Right now, we've seen them already lose one player. They're still holding up in 6th position, but man, top 5 is what gets you the money. But anyway, Faker in a 1v1, and he spots that move. He's like, I've played this before. I'm playing this. This is where experience starts to come to the drop. Wait, the crate doesn't fall. Oh, it did fall.
Carlos, I think you need to remove those glasses.
No, my glasses is what is making me see well. But Mad Monkeys would lose Amar in their early engagements. And just as you were saying there in Picado, the thing with Picado is it's not even necessarily camping. It's just a case of Picado is a very hard place to hold, and it's also a tricky place to push as well. There's a lot of buildings, right? And then when you have I think that's like 3 teams. When you have 2 teams in there, it gets relatively harder as a team. That's where you need to make the decision. Really, if I were to land in Picado and I see another team landing with me, what I'll just want to do is land close to the edges as much as possible, find that car spawn, and go and loot elsewhere. Man, go to the power grid, go elsewhere, because if you're going to stay in Picado and try to fight it out, you might end up burning so much time that you could be finding, or that you could be spending finding loot, or even finding vehicles as well.
Yeah, true. And a lot of teams just tend to start camping at Picado when the fight escalates. So then there's no much need.
Because the terrain does give you a lot. Like, it gives you places that you can hold, places that you can camp. There's rooftops. You can literally get to the top of a roof. There's the is it a casino? or well, the theater. There we go. There's the theater there. There's the casino with a lot of angles. So it's like different places that are so tempting to hold. I'm not very surprised to see that happen, and that's one of the reasons. Me knowing that is why I'm saying, you know what? Rather than fighting Picado, I'll just loot the vehicles that are around. You are gonna have to find your way into the zone. Me, on the other hand, I'm just gonna go find my loot, and maybe if I'm in the mood, I can come back to Picado to come and fight you.
Yeah, true. ZEUS MORIS getting two players sent back to the lobby this early isn't really something that they would have hoped for. They desperately need to climb high in the leaderboard. They are not being so consistent right now.
At all, especially here on the map of Miramar. Miramar, you lose two players this early on in the game. Yeah, it's not, you just know that you're not down for a very, very fun map of Miramar, because that map is very big and it does take its time. Because for what it's worth, we still have about 30 seconds before the first zone even starts to close.
Yep. 5 minutes, 55 seconds into the game. We've lost 3 players already. I think some teams will try to play this a little bit slower. See ZEUS FINALBOSS scoping team MVP. Seems like they didn't go head to head in High anymore. But they are still here trying to shoot at each other.
The headshots is connected, and Panda makes him see black and white as he finds that first knock. It's like, you do not wander around like that. At least not here on the map of Miramar. You know he wants that elimination. You know he knows he's a solo, and he's just gonna go for that elimination, grab it. I don't even think that player is gonna be telling his team that, hey, come and revive me. Nah, that's about it, man. But for what it's worth, I think MVP have come into the final 2 games, at least with a relatively, well, that last game and the game before, really, they've come into it with a relatively better attitude, where we've seen them just play a little bit more confident than we saw in the first games.
Yes, sure. ZEUS MORIS lose yet another player, and it's down to Conan Boy. Team MVP fighting
this time
back.
It does look like right now, in all honesty, for ZEUS MORIS, this is the last team they want to go out to, because that is Mad Monkeys, who are just sitting down directly below them on the leaderboard. But MVP, though, they want the smoke and they would get the trouble as Potion falls, and MVP now down to the final 2 to hold on the fort. ZEUS Conan Boy still looking for those knocks, but man, a 1v3 up against Mad Monkeys. I almost want to say, is it doable? But seeing the fact that it is early on in the game, I just feel like it's possible. You know? Give him! There we go. The first knock is found. And Conan Boy is holding down the fort. Mad Monkeys are going to try to play this one as slowly as possible. He's seen him! Oh, it's good! Oh! He got all 3! You want to see it! And this is what I said! This is what I was saying. Like, I almost want to say it's not possible. But because it is early fights, Mad Boy, wow, that is beautiful.
So the reflexes, the reaction time, what a player.
You know, I love when you just know that is the one team. Like, you can go out to any team, but you just can't go out to that team. What a player. The mind games. S12K, Conan Boy. My guy is pointing at us like, hey, you, don't doubt me. My bad. Damn. What a player. But in other news, we did lose our team MVP as well in those engagements. But every other person does seem to be okay for the time being, except for Team Unique, though, who do find themselves in trouble with the players there from GAMERIZE. And off of that chicken dinner they've had today, you know, they're definitely feeling good. Their blood is pumping.
Mauritius versus Mauritius. Which Mauritius team is going to stand out supreme?
Got my money on
GAMERIZE. Holding GAMERIZE. GAMERIZE. Oh Lord.
Well,
no, I think I'll just stick to GRM.
That is also one way to put it. I'm pretty sure they would appreciate either. But nonetheless, make that team unique. Need to grab their revives up. I do not know if exist is being tended to, but I like the fact that they're looking to apply pressure. And scratch that, I don't have my money on GAMERIZE anymore because for a weird reason, Legacy is still on an off angle. There is no point, there's no reason for you to still be on that far of an off angle when the fight is becoming close range, in close quarters, literally compounds.
I think for Team Unique, they need to give GAMERIZE some space. Because if they stay here for too long, third party is going to come up. And they do not want to be on the receiving end of the third party.
Exactly. Like, there's one thing we've actually seen today. It's that prominence of third party. Like, we see a lot of third party come through. So if you're taking a fight in this lobby, you need to make it as quickly as possible. And I'm pretty sure the players there from Team Elite will agree as well with me. But anyway, shots coming in through, zone about to close. There is a lot happening at the same time. Team Unique taking trouble. The Madman still alive, trying to see if he can find the off angle from GAMERIZE, and he does find it. Yamal forced to stay quiet now as GAMERIZE now in trouble. Madman, an MVP, one of the strongest fraggers in Mauritius that we know, and he is looking to clutch this one out. Does he have the clutch factor? Where is Exist in all of this?
Exist, the player that Madman picked up. He's now going to play as his duo. They've lost Frags and Kaish.
Woo!
Oh, and Exist is 2 knocks.
Oh, the nade is good for 2. Team Unique now, they have to capitalize on this one. The question is, where were those knocks gotten? They know exactly where it was. Madman knows who to push, and he knows he wins those all days twice on weekends as they're able to get themselves more eliminations up on board. It is 2 for the time being, and Yamal gonna have to pull up that clutch factor, but he cannot because Exist finally tells me where he is on that off angle to grab his team the final elimination and send GAMERIZE back into the lobby. What a way to play.
Imagine,
nice hold.
Imagine Madman not picking up Exist earlier on.
Right. I know, right? Because he was actually close to not picking him up. And then Exist coming in clutch. But man, what a grenade. 2-piece.
Yeah, Exist reminds me of myself. I mean, I know you will not agree, but it reminds me of myself.
What do you mean now? Come on, talk to us. Talk your shit.
I know you will not agree.
Right, I see chat. Let me know that I actually did give him the opportunity to try to hide. But nonetheless, the accuracy that I'm seeing from the 6x scope it makes me wonder, is this the same 6x scope? Or maybe it's just Arad, because that's how he got his first elimination, and he's done it again for 3.
Chance. Just keep that in your notebook. That is skillishi for crowns.
All right.
It's a bad sprayer, but it's a premium yapper.
Hey, don't play.
Only me see 3 different things at the same time.
There is trouble here. Oh, someone needs to stop Ara. Someone has. Oh, stop him! You can't do this. These are illegal actions that you are performing as he's taking shots. And he continues to find damage. Where is his teammates? Please send that nade in there. And there is the nade to send Nkape down. And what a way they are playing right now. ZEUS FINALBOSS have taken their hands off of the brakes, and they are firing full throttle. 7 eliminations. They're pushing 2 teams at the same time. You love to see that one. We didn't see this one coming in the last game, but right now they have got all their eyes on the players there from Ruthless ESPORTS. I promise you there's no one else in the smoke.
What is utilities? So she's going for that flush. Yep, I called it.
And then there's that solo from Angry. He didn't see him.
There's no way he didn't see him. He didn't see him.
No, he didn't see him. We wouldn't see him. We would have seen him because that was the gun. Oh, but Swati is making a run for it. Oh, what? Arad actually needs to be stopped at this point. He's pulling up moves that makes me think we're playing Spider-Man and not PUBG Mobile here. But if Team Angry Solo actually stands up, that is going to be a whole lot of trouble. And I love the play coming in through from Ara. He has to find him. He knows. He knows. Is there only the 6x he can use? Okay. And there's one more person. There's one more person left, but I don't think they know. If that's solo from
FINALBOSS is going to use another player.
Man, Raven is there. He has eyes.
I think this FINALBOSS is going to use another player.
I hope they don't stay though. Usually whenever they're not up as a full squad, but usually whenever you get a knock like this, you want to like leave. But right now they do seem to be staying. Trying to find. Well, they are up on the northern edge of the circle, so I don't really see too much need for them to move. They still have that circle. And speaking of circle, we're about to get yet another zone shift. And this time, we've got a chunk of teams out there in the center, close to the southern edge. And I wonder where they will find themselves when the new circle reveals itself.
They're still surviving. Trying not to draw any unnecessary attention. So I'm quite surprised RRAGE didn't see him though. And they're just looting from box to box. I hope none of them come into this building because Raven is waiting.
Indeed, he's waiting. And he doesn't want to take them out, it seems. He doesn't want to risk it. Team Angry right now, currently seated in 11th position. Trying to see if they can get as much eliminations or at least as much points as a cushion going into tomorrow's games. But man, not too much points up on board. 33 they've got so far. One elimination, it might be 34. And Tribe Warriors, in all honesty, if there's one thing I have to say about Tribe Warriors, because almost every single time I've seen Tribe Warriors, it does look like they have troubles with their rotations. They're a team that would know how to frag, but when it comes to the rotations, they don't seem to put it off well. And in this game, they've lost 2 sheerly to rotation. That's not how you play. They need to fix that.
Yep. One player knocked already. Just 2 players up.
And it's like the way they're knocked, you're knocked on rotation. You're not grabbing that revive. It's not going to be possible. So right now, those 2 players are definitely out of commission. It forces them to play differently now. They can't even execute whatever game plan they must have had. So they start to get troublesome. But a lot of teams, though, looking to get into that new circle from the southern edge. Team Elite does have a lot of sight lines onto them. But the range might just be a disadvantage for them. And at this point, I think you're going to need R6X scope if you're hoping to take out players from that range. But a lot of players out there in the center. I'm looking at Team Berserk. They are looking very, very close, a little too close for comfort towards some of the players there from 3 Crown Esports. And they do have one player knocked so far, and it's going to be courtesy of Paradox. And I want to see how well they're going to hold up for the rest of the game.
12 teams remaining, 34 players alive. ESPORTS still alive. I wonder if they'll be able to leave 16th though.
Well, this time it is better. We're currently in stage 3, about to get into stage 4, and we still have 12 teams alive. In the last game, at this point, we're already down to 9. So yeah, this is very good to see a couple of teams still surviving. And well, that solo there from ZEUS MORIS is still alive. Hoping to grab his team or drive or anchor his team really into placement point zones as everyone just tries to find a compound that they can hold in this next circle.
Yep, it's Miramar. You really want to be struggling at the edge when Vision is chasing you and teams like it keeping you.
Mm-hmm.
Krause, what do you
It
think
doesn't
about
like there's a
the
lot of
in PUBG Mobile?
Wait, they do it? Like it's allowed in comps?
Yeah.
That's quite interesting. It depends on you can literally repair an exploded vehicle or you must not have exploded.
You know, in PUBG Mobile, I think another thing I like is spare tires because a lot of players connect more than enemies.
Wait. We can do that now? That's interesting. I don't know
Yes.
how I feel about it. I don't think it's realistic though. I like it. I like the game being fairly realistic, and I don't think anybody is going to be letting you, jack up your car and change your tires in a hot battlefield. But zone is moving. We get a very, very southern shift. Favors elites a lot. Knockouts find themselves in a good spot. Same thing can be said about REGNUM-X. It's a question, and out of these three teams, I think I'm only confident in two. I don't have to say who the third is. But that being said, though, I want to see what the rotations will be like. 12 teams still alive. The zone is getting too small for comfort. And Team Angry now finally gets started as Raven finds that one knock, one elimination, and he's just going to get into his vehicle and run away. I love that.
This Morris finally sent packing in 12th place. Flambo not able to survive any longer.
Oh no!
Ara,
ZEUS.
MVP.
Oh no! He was having such a good game. But unfortunately, that will be the end of the line there for ZEUS final boss. 9 eliminations, but no placement points to go alongside it. And I do not understand why Team Berserk is playing as if. Oh, now I understand. Because I was going to say, why is he playing like a solo? But he indeed is a solo amidst dogs around him and wolves around him. His rest of his teammates are far off to the western edge of the circle. He's going to have to do this one as a solo.
Yep. RAGE ESPORTS, a trio, elite, full team, knockouts, a full team, 3C, a full team.
That one I love to see. RRAGE not up as a full squad, but in all honesty, when I see RRAGE with 3 players, I would assume it's just them as a full squad. So we'll keep that one out. They're looking very close to the side there of Knockout Esports. So I'm looking forward to seeing how well they're going to hold or Paradox. Trying to see if he can get some tick damage up onto FORKILL, who are trying to find their way into the zone. And in all honesty, FORKILL, yes, I get what you're trying to do, but I think they're timing their rotations a little too late. Because right now they're having to drive alongside the blue zone. And in a map with very unforgiving terrain, it becomes very hard when you have to get to that step. You need a little bit of breathing space as you're going into the zone. What is spray?
Double RG losing yet another player. Tracy making it very difficult for double RG to try to get another chicken dinner. Light. Yeah, does a lot of numbers. Beautiful spray down onto Melio. He's going to get that confirmation easily. Trickern Esports feeling very confident here. Trying to take out the first place team. They're down to a solo. Knockout Esports lighting up the kill feed with FORKILL Esports South. Send back to the lobby. Palabala, the solo from double RG, trying to get out of dodge, but Light says no. 4 eliminations secured for Light from Trickern Esports. Messiah feeling a little bit left out here. Kage as well. Down to 8 teams now.
You can just tell that he's having fun there, Lights. Like 4 eliminations that he's been able to get so far. Look at that spray that he did to grab players out of rotations. You just love to see that one coming through from him. Unfortunately, for them right now, they're currently playing from the edge. Elite is still alive and they're looking way strong on that southern edge. And that circle, it's not very, very nice. But there's playable terrain. Actually, no, the circle is nice. It has a lot of dips and little hills here and there that you can play. So I think it works out well. The team that has the most nades, I believe they would succeed in this next circle.
Yep. I think most nades and most numbers, though, not just most good. The solo with most nades can already do too much.
Well, everyone has got numbers. I mean, except for like the Tribe Warriors and Team Unique. Right? But like pretty much everyone else has like 3-man, 4-man up. So if you have a lot of grenades, if it comes down to those close range quarters fights, yeah, those would play so well because that terrain that you have in next circle and this current circle really does give you the chance to send out those throwables. But 3 Crown Esports though finally driving down south onto the circle as that new zone is about to unveil itself. It starts to close. Team Elite also have to find a way into the circle. They're looking to go for a compound. I'd really like to see them hold more of a high ground.
FORKILL Esports sent packing. They've not really been playing well. They're down to 7 teams, 22 players alive. Almost 25 minutes into this game. Crown Esports in a new engagement right now. Knockout Esports 2 knocked away. That happened too fast.
Just too fast. Everyone had their eyes on them. Berserkers had their eyes on them. Team Elite had their eyes on them. Some of the players there from Tribe Warriors were also shooting, but the madman is looking for trouble as he finds that first knock onto the side of Tribe Warriors. Grenades being sent towards his position, and now he knows there's someone in that shack. He's like, oh brother, you shouldn't have mated me. Sent it to the back of the shack, and he sends him back into the lobby. Tribe Warriors 4, Team Unique 7 points off of elimination so far. It looks like this game might be the game where they finally breach into those double digits. Team Elites find their way into the circle, and now they start to wreak havoc onto the side of 3 Crown Esports as one player falls. And this is what I was saying about the dips that are available in that circle. You can go prone, you can use that to your advantage, prevent yourself from getting shot at from other places. Love to see that there from Manji.
5 teams remaining, 12 players alive, and Elites with the full team. 3 Crown Esports with the full team as well.
When you make that statement, Elite with a full squad, that is very, very dangerous to hear if you're in this lobby. And REGNUM-X now starting to do damage. 3 Crown Esports lose 1, but REGNUM-X would fall instead. Team Unique lose exists in that peak, which seemed to be a little bit of an overzealous one. But again, when you have terrains with dips, it gets very tricky. And this is where I start to say the grenades would start to come in clutch for you. 3 Crown Esports already up to 11 eliminations. They need to grab one revive. But Team Elite now starting to let the bullets fly. One more knock has been found as Berserkers find their way back into the lobby. And it is looking like all Elite's game to lose right now. They have eyesight on pretty much everyone. Simple takes the shots towards Paradox, and Madman will complete the rest of the damage to find the knock as 3 Crown Esports find themselves in a 2-3 fight. One against the side of Team Elite, the other against the players there from Team Unique. And wow, that is one knock to be found to silence the players there from Team Elite. Like, hey, stop pushing up. We're not easy meat to chew, but Elites do not fall. They do not succumb. One more knock has been found. The Messiah falls. Light in that vehicle, trying to see if you can hold down the fort. But again, I said it, the grenades will do it for you as 3 Crown Esports fall. And Team Elites, they know the remainder of these players are just right in front of them. And it is the madman. He is clutch. But how clutch is he? Is he one before clutch? As the first player comes and delivers himself on the platter, will not work. And Elite says, Clowns, you were right. It has been yo-yo from them all day. Win one, lose one. Win one, lose one. And they close out the day in style and in fashion. 9 eliminations and a winner chicken dinner.
What a game. 9 eliminations in total, 1,686 damage. Edwards, I'm not sure what he was doing. He was getting damaged, but just not able to get elimination. You know, at the point, Elite had to push up. Yeah, they had to push up. They knew they were going to win the game, but they needed to get more eliminations. Because if they didn't push up, 3C and Unique would have just reduced all the eliminations they would have gotten. But GG to the boys from Elite.
Yeah, they had to push up onto that one. That fight was indeed necessary, and I like the proactivity coming in through from them. Pushed up onto that one and got themselves the eliminations, which tallies up to the total that we got. We've gotten an average of 60 eliminations per game after Rondo. You love to see that, and I think it's been 60 eliminations every game afterwards. 61 knocks this time, 5,800 damage, 5 grenade eliminations, and 33 assists to coming through for this one, with vehicle eliminations not happening. That last one was very close to getting Team Elite knocked there, but they were good. You love to see that one as the head-to-head comes in through between Elite and 3 Crown Esports. Both teams looking relatively close, but when you start to look at the damage that was being dealt by the side of 3 Crown Esports, 2,440. And the reason why I'm pointing this out is because 3 Crown Esports were that team that were absolutely clearing teams on their way into the circle. They kept on driving in with that zone, giving themselves a little bit of space and clearing teams. But unfortunately, when it got to that final zone, just like that first Miramar game, they found themselves in a three-way fight that they just could not hold on to. But the Madman, MVP here, Jesse.
Five eliminations, 780 damage. Madman really did a lot in this match.
Indeed, he did. Indeed, he did. And I would have been surprised. In fact, I might have ended my casting career if FINALBOSS's Ara was not on this list. What a player! What a player that we saw today. He was absolutely on smoke with those with that 6x scope on the Scarel. I didn't know it was that dangerous. But then again, from 3 Crown Esports, we mentioned it sometime in the game. He was just having fun, and this is what his fun has given him, put him here in the top players there. Paradox also putting in some damage and exists coming in clutch with those grenades to get his team or to get himself here in that high positions there as the top players of the game. But man, REGNUM-X able to put some points up on board. It's just not enough here, Jesse.
Just 5 points. They're still going to be last, though, but maybe they'll be able to leave that 16th spot that they've been holding like a trophy since day one. FORKILL,
but I hope so.
Just 1 point in this game. The thing I like the most is at least every team got a point, at least.
Yep, exactly. Exactly. Everybody did get themselves a piece of the pie. But this time, it is going to be Team Elite to get the most out of it all. 19 points that they were able to secure. 3 Crown Esports with 16. Team Unique finally breaching double digits, getting themselves 15 points up on board. FINALBOSS from ZEUS able to get themselves 9 points to put up on board, while their brothers in MORIS were only able to put up 4. Team BERSERK putting up numbers. And I like this because the major reason why I like this is the final game of the day. We're starting to see more teams from the bottom parts of the leaderboard or from the second page of the leaderboard put up numbers. So that just kind of sets a little bit of a tone going into tomorrow, the kind of attitude we should expect to see from these players.
Yep, Mangi is still leading the players. Not a lot done today, though, just 3 eliminations. But at least it's still the MVP.
Still the MVP. More damage has been done. 4,300 that he's been able to put up on board. 7 assists as well. Messiah is here for 3 Crown, as well as Light, who's also found his way here with 18 eliminations. Slater has made it in and he's refused to go out ever seen. And SZZQ from RRAGE also finding himself up here. RECALCITRANTS real back to the top. And it's like they just told everybody, you know what, hold that first place for me, I'm coming. They did win this tournament last season, and right now it's looking like they are on the trajectory again. But RRAGE giving them a run for their money. 3 chicken dinners as well. 113 points that they were able to put up on board. 3rd and 4th position, both holding 88 points. GAMERIZE out here in 5th. ZEUS, MORIS in 6th. Tribe Warriors and Ruthless Esports actually making it into 8th. And I just love to see down there from Ruthless Esports. Slowly but slowly, they started today so well. From that first game, I already knew that they were playing this right, and seeing that they were able to boost themselves into top 8 today, I cannot wait to see what they have in store for us tomorrow, Jesse.
No doubt. We'll see how teams should play in the final 5 matches. I'm actually still somehow hoping that REGNUM-X in particular do something different.
Definitely.
Really
Man, yep, I'm hoping so as well. Same thing I would say for Mad Monkeys, right? The reason why I'm going to mention this for Mad Monkeys is because they started today being in that top 5, and today they've ended it by dropping 4 spots, more than 4 spots really, and find themselves in 9th position, surely due to the fact that they did the same thing, same mistakes that they made in the gauntlet stage of taking those fights a little too early, not quite able to keep their players alive in those early engagements. And I'm really hoping that going into tomorrow's games, we start to see more calculated pushes coming in through from them.
Yep. So just run the viewers through the match winners for today. We had RAGE ESPORTS Steakhouse chicken dinner in Rondo. MORIS in the first errand girl, Elite in the second errand girl, GAMERIZE in the first Miramar, and Elite once again in the final Miramar and match of the day.
Just love to see that one. The spread coming in through, at least being the only team to grab themselves to tonight. But nonetheless, you got to give the props to RRAGE, GAMERIZE, and the players there from ZEUS MORIS for also being able to put up numbers up on the board. It's been an amazing day of games. I've enjoyed what I've seen from this team so far. RECALCITRANTS not quite letting go of that first position just yet. And I know that team, they know how to play final days well. I cannot wait to see what they've got in store for us tomorrow. And it's not just them, but pretty much every other team. Thank you so much for joining me today, Jesse, and every other person in the chat for pulling up. Thank you, production. And I would see you guys tomorrow, same time, for the final of the La Coupe Africana Season 3. Until then, I'm Crowns, and I'll see you tomorrow. Bye-bye.